to say, that's totally fair because the rule of thumb should be half plus 7.
I'm calling bullshit on that rule. Fuck that.
Steve, how old are your kids?
They're in their 30s. My daughter is now again. That picture is like 10 years old, but my daughter is 32 and my son is 35. That picture was taken about 10-15 years ago. Yeah.
Steve, anybody making fun of you, tell them to go to hell. Okay, tell them to go to hell. You did nothing wrong. Shout out to Uncle Steve.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle Steve. Steve, I think Sammy wants to shoot a shot.
Oldest, Steve.
Pardon?
Yo, I think that
Oldest. What's the oldest going?
The oldest I'll go? Yeah, well, I'm 65, so I would say 60s.
Yeah, you said that already.
I did. I didn't know I said that.
The half plus 7 rule, that's like 39.
So Steve, if you were to encounter a woman, okay, exactly, I would say a little bit older, 7 years your senior.
Did you say 7 years my senior, like in her early 70s?
Yeah, like what about like a nice, like,
I'm listening. Okay, if I encountered a woman in her early 70s.
What about like a nice Alana Stewart? Like, wouldn't you agree Alana Stewart looks very good for her age? I would say Alana Stewart looks better than some 60-year-olds, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, would you be open to that?
Well, there's only so many Alana Stewarts, so absolutely yes.
I don't know, Steve. I mean, once you start getting in the 60s and 70s, the only way I would even entertain it, and I'm not even close to 60, is how much money does she have?
Well, JB, you're like 20 years younger than me, aren't you? But they're wrong.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, you're in your 40s, yes, JB, or no?
Yes, and they'd have to have a lot of money for me to date him.
Yeah, and again, even though I said, and this is absolutely true, you know, me being in my 60s, what's my preferred woman in her 40s? If I met up with Jennifer Aniston, who's like in her late 50s, oh yeah.
Steve, just to be clear, the half plus 7. That would mean that 39 and a half is the earliest you can go. So the fact that you're choosing them in the 40s, I think you're being extremely responsible.
Thank you. Thank you.
At least you're not doing a Bill Belichick.
Oh, and I know what's up with that. Belichick is 72, 73, and his girl's 24, right?
Well,
3-time, right?
Well, hold on, Steve. The Prophet Muhammad was 53 when Aisha was 9. What do you think of that?
I think it's completely disgusting.
So, Steve, let me ask you a question. While that is there's no argument to say that's not disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about situations like Anna Nicole Smith and her ex-husband or her late husband?
I'm familiar with Anna Nicole Smith. Yep.
So how old was he and how old was she?
She was in her 90s and she was in her late 20s.
And she's dead.
Yeah, I would have advised him on the half plus 20 or half plus 7 rule, and at 90 that would have put his minimum dating requirement should have been 52.
Well, at his age, I'm sure he had dementia, and he would have, traded in the plus sign for a multiplication sign, which is why they ended up in that situation. But, I'm glad that at least people are being consistent. I find it very disgusting that somebody in their 90s would be interested in somebody in their 20s.
But she did say she loved him.
There's a high probability that he didn't know the name.
Can we get back? Hold on.
Gave me a shot, I would take it.
Alright, yeah, listen, yeah, I get it. You guys would fuck all the fat black women. let me just ask this. Can we just for a second get back to Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad was 53 when he had sex with a 9-year-old. I'm just wondering if there's anybody on the stage that thinks that's okay. Oh, they don't? Oh, amazing. Well, we got about 1 billion people on this planet that we need.
Who's we? Good luck.
I think it's the responsibility of all of us that have heard this to spread the word, because I'm telling you, I told everybody last night, I thought that was like a trope that was created to slam a religion, and when I heard it from the horse's mouth, the people that practice Islam, that this is 100% true. You just can't. Some things you just can't hear. This is not about a religion anymore. It is literally a death cult.
But it was different times. 2,000 years ago, people lived to be like 17 and then they died.
Who said that?
Wait, hold on.
That.
Michael just offered a justification for a 53-year-old man to fuck a 9-year-old girl. Way to go, Michael! You're a champion of.
Yeah, to let the prophecy live on, of course.
What is your religion, Michael?
Pedophilia is a religion.
I'm Christian.
Well, because Christianity was there before Islam, right? Is this
It's
something that
Abrahamic
Christians
religion.
did Christians do that too? I'm trying to understand, like, how come that for their time, which is after Christianity, this was normal. I don't see anything normal about this kind of behavior. It just looks like a bunch of old men who were horny and
Hold on,
drug addicts.
Sarah, hold on. I gotta address something in the chat. Somebody named Goddess1 said Mary got fucked by a spirit. So is that not rape? Actually, you hold on. No, hold on. Yeah, only the dummy would think that made sense. Listen, the Bible says that she got pregnant. The Bible never says that the spirit had sex with her. This was what was called immaculate conception. So she got pregnant without sex. So for those of you that are trying to pervert the Bible, you're gonna have to try harder than that.
Is that the same goddess?
Let me just give a little clarity. Michael, when he said the dummy agrees, he was talking about you. Get it?
Oh shit, I didn't catch that.
Is this the same black goddess?
So you dislike all the religions, or what's the plan?
I don't subscribe to any of them, but I can recognize that some are worse than others. I used to think that Scientology and some others were at the bottom of the barrel, BHI possibly being the worst. But once I heard the pedophilia simps that come from the Muslim faith, I would say that they are easily the worst.
So
it's easily the worst religion.
okay, that's fine. That's granted. That's your opinion. Perfectly okay. So I'm not religious either. Don't like religion. So I'm a little thrown why it has to be like, oh, one person is making a worse rhetoric for the fucking religion than another person. Is it a fucking competition? I don't think so. I said what I said. The spirit fucked her. We still don't know what fucked her, but a baby came and saved everybody with his blood. I have no idea, right? That's the fucking shit we're told. Then what was the real point of you saying idiocracies and dummies and all that fucking extra shit?
Because people that read the Bible and understand the Bible understand that the Bible's never claimed that the Spirit had sex with.
So we're.
If you're implying
and I want to clarify,
it does imply that you.
Devil's advocate here, giving some possible reasons. I'm not a studier of the Quran, and I don't know, but I'm just giving a possible, idea that it was a different time.
Hold on. I want to make sure nobody interrupts you. While you make your excuse for a 53-year-old man fucking a 9-year-old. Go ahead. Make your.
Well, I mean, for the guy to live 53 years old, that's immaculate. And, what time period was this, back in AD? Because most people died at,
Actually, it was hold on. It was 1,400 years ago.
Okay, 1,400 years ago. you know, a 53-year-old man without fucking ED drugs, could even get his dick hard.
Yeah, and what he chose to do with it was to put it inside of a 9-year-old. Why not an adult?
That's where it gets a little fucked up. You know, that's where it gets a little fucked up. And I'm not justifying it, but you know what? I don't know. Like,
So you are.
I don't know way shit works in the desert either. You know, how shit works out there.
$100,000 out of my pocket.
Michael,
Do you think at any time that it's okay?
I mean, you know, as you're sounding it out, you know, like, not really seeing.
It was okay when the Europeans did it. They did it over and over and over, and they're just not getting caught for it. So it's been pretty much the fuck okay the whole entire time. I mean,
Actually, no. Hold on.
no. That's true. Those are the opposite.
That sounded like a fucking goat.
They go to belittle.
I want my kids.
No.
I want my kids.
Is it bad?
Yeah, my
So
kids.
here's the difference, right? Because these types of practices did happen all over the world. The difference is that in 2025, a group of Americans can come together and go, dude, that's some heinous shit, and call out anybody for doing it. The difference that we're talking about, though, is that in 2025, Muslims will come into this room and will defend it. They will say that it's okay.
Just like you white Europeans who fuck little boys in the butt. What is the difference?
You're not. You're missing.
Defenses are hilarious, Mo.
No, you're missing the point.
No, I think you're missing the point.
Well, if you interrupt me, you're gonna miss the fucking point. You're gonna miss the whole fucking point.
You sent the point to hell. It's gone already. But
It's
okay, man. And you got sent to the goo.
Jesus Christ. They do not send their best. Listen, here's the difference. Yes, throughout human history, bad shit has happened. But there's only one religion that 1,400 years later is saying that they think that pedophilia is okay. So if you want to go ahead and simp for that goddess, you go ahead.
Well, you know, and it's really strange, Roger. Well, it's not strange. Hakima's going to get upset with me. You know, these are the type of black women that, you know, for some reason, the standard is so far on the floor that instead of looking at the moral repugnance behind the act, the comparison of acceptability is always, what do white people do? And this is where I stand 10 toes down that there are certain black women in our populace that are just a danger to be around children.
And also, if I heard her correctly, she said she's not religious or doesn't believe in God. I don't remember which, but she said Roger's going to go to hell for what he's thinking.
Yeah, well, and not only is she not religious, but she's not very logical either.
Now, Bernie, for what I thinketh.
Okay, Michael, I think that you need to go to the fucking audience. You and the gooeth. What the fuck is going on right now?
Well, Roger, I'll tell you, you made me a moderator, gave me a green bean, and I invited a bunch of peeps in that follow me, so you never know who's going to show up.
No, see, Uncle Steve, these are not your people. I refuse to believe that these moral degenerates are your people. Okay? These are definitely not your people. They must have made burner accounts, tricked you into adding them, and just to infiltrate these rooms.
Yeah.
Like, these are definitely not.
And see, the problem is, and I'll give it back to Roger in a second, on my weekend shows, I invite everybody up to the stage, because I want to hear from everybody, no matter how fucking stupid they are. I want all opinion.
So, Steven, that's a beautiful thing, but can we be honest that not everyone that goes to your room is one of the nieces and nephews?
You're right.
Some of them are bastard children from another flock.
I hate to make this about race, but I'm just really frustrated that I hear the same type of talking points anytime this conversation comes up and black women insert their opinions into it. The standard is always on the floor, and the method of making excuses is always measured against what do white people do. And I just think it's weird. It's like, okay, so if, like how she was saying, you're all my children. I mean, is she a mother? Is she a mother with children in her care? Like, are her kids able to be abused in her household because the existence of that said abuse occurs amongst white people? Like, I'm just trying to understand exactly what the point is of her bringing in race as a ground standard of like social acceptability. Like, it's very weird.
And Roger, by the way, if and when you want, and again, I'm not pushing it, I'm just offering it as an option. I've got 2 minutes of Alan Shore on Scientology, which is really cool if you want to fill 2 minutes, but no big.
Yeah, we can go after Scientology at some point. I've now come to realize that BHI is essentially Scientology of the hood. So when you run into the BHI types, just remember that's exactly what it is. Scientology.
I mean, why would you call it the Scientology of the hood? I would call it mainly like the FLDS of the hood. Because they do like to abuse children too.
We should have this debate. You know what I think is the best about the people that identify as Hebrew Israelites is you ever ask them if they've been to Israel? They say no. Then you ask them.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
And then if you ask them to speak Hebrew, they don't know that either. So it's very interesting. So they're not Hebrew or Israelite.
Yeah, then you can ask them when was the last time that they're Hebrew Israelites, when was the last time they went to Shul, when was the last time they were in the temple, and by the way, are they circumcised?
And a lot of them also believe that, sorry if somebody already just said this, but a lot of those Black Hebrew Israelites also believe that, once the girl child starts menstruating, she is, ready for bedding.
See what I mean?
And they also believe that all of us Jews should be wiped off the face of the planet.
Show your dog as a puppy versus now.
Hey, we believe that, Steve? Black
Hebrew Israelites. Now, not all of them, not all of them.
That's what I was wondering. That's how to believe.
Oh, no. Hikima, believe me, I've spoken to...
Not even a good portion of them.
Well, if you take the portion of them on Clubhouse, Kima, I respectfully disagree with you.
So, Uncle
Well, they
Steve,
definitely don't believe. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead, NY.
No, they also believe they. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. NY, Adams, and then I will.
No, but Hakima, don't you agree though? Because I used to follow some of those camps hard, right? A lot of them do believe that the Jews in Israel are not the real Israelites in the Bible. Not the real Jews of the.
They say that, but I never heard them. I've never heard them say the group that they need to be white for black.
I mean, they have rooms basically saying it every night, along with Christians as well, which is why none of them are ever allowed in my home. But can we all agree that it's not a religion? Like, it's really not. Like, BHI is not a religion. It's a pan-African nationalist movement. Like, it's not a religion in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, and in fact, what I hear a lot of them say is that me as a Jew, and I've admitted this, I can trace my Jewish lineage back 150 years. I can go to my mom and dad, I can go to my grandma, I can go to my great grandmother, grandfather, go back 150 years. Now, what they say is, well, I can't trace it back 2,000 years. But then when you start to ask them, can they trace their religion back or whatever to their mom, their dad, their they don't talk about that. They talk about the physical features of the Black Hebrew Israelites 2,000 years ago. They can't trace them back 2 generations.
I'd like to know in this tracing back of their ancestors, how is that?
Wait, what'd you say you broke up? How's that?
Public record and genealogy.
Yeah, people lie. So genealogy, I get, that could be science, like the DNA and that kind of stuff. But hundreds of years, how
they can.
Because is it like is the BMI, is this like, or sorry, BHI, are they claiming that they are genetically Israelites?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they are. That's
Okay.
what they're
So they
claiming.
can. Okay, so they're claiming that they can prove the DNA, that they are of DNA descent from Israel.
Yes, but when you get down to it, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the DNA. It has to do with the actual physical features of the Israelites 2,000 years ago. They don't have a bloodline or a DNA trace bloodline. They don't.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Like when you look at the European bloodlines, like you can trace them back like centuries. When you look at, some of the Hispanic bloodlines, depending on which bloodline somebody claims to be a part of, indigenous American bloodlines. And that's only based on you being able to prove that based on the anthropological record and DNA that we have on file. So when people make these type of claims based on, I grew up with a black Jesus. I grew up with a black Jesus in the nativity set at my grandmother's house that was a black Hebrew Israelite from the 70s. That is not evidence that you came from Israel. It's not. It's not evidence that you came from Israel. You do not have a bloodline there. You do not have a family lineage. You do not have a genealogy, any sort of genetic markers. Like you're talking to some people where you ask them if they grew up in a two-parent household and they can't even tell you who their father is. Yet they want to tell you that they came back, they came from Israel? Like, are you kidding me?
Because it's interesting that this whole it's interesting. It's interesting that this came about in early 1900s, and I bet that they never betted that there would ever be something like DNA and science to back up the ancestral background. So it's interesting how science is really debunking the whole concept. But it's slow. But it's slow to be understood.
Can I jump in here real quick? Going back to the nativity scene, when I was a kid, I used to decorate the nativity scene that my grandmother would set up with my GI Joe and my Star Wars toys. And my favorite thing to do was to make Lando Calrissian, who was the only brother in the galaxy. He would always be the centerpiece of this nativity scene. So I think I've been supporting Black Jesus much longer than most.
I mean, I grew up with a grandmother who was not black, and a grandmother who was black as well. Two different grandmothers. We do have two of them. But one of my grandmothers, who was the most religious of the two, consistent with the faith that I practice today, always felt that Jesus was Dominican, a Dominican Jew. You're not going to convince me of otherwise. She went through a whole entire hair assessment of why he's a Dominican Jew. And I'm going to go with her theory, because I definitely don't think that Jesus came from Africa.
Is anybody familiar with more science?
Yeah, me.
Well, can somebody throw the tenets of more science on the table?
From the black perspective.
Do we have an hour? Do we have an hour?
It don't take an hour to speak of the tenets of more science.
Well, from the black perspective, Roger, I mean, I can answer that one. We was Kangs. We was Kangs. We was Kangs. We was Kangs. There you go. Lesson over.
There's no black perspective of more science.
Hakima, because I've also heard you identify as a Muslim. Is that correct?
Yeah, more science are Muslims. Right? We identify as Muslims, not Muslims, same thing, but it's a slight difference.
I got a question for you then. What do you think about the Prophet Muhammad fucking a 9-year-old?
Not my business. He did what he did. I'm not going to condone it.
Did you just say the Prophet Muhammad stood on business?
I said he did what he did.
No, he said it's not his business. He did not say he stood on business. He said it's not his business. It's not the ideal response that I would have hoped that we would have gotten from Hakima, but we're not gonna say that he said that Muhammad stood on business, because he did not say that.
Let me clarify something. The name of my prophet from more science is Noble Drew Ali. The prophet Noble Drew Ali is who I stand on and stand behind. No disrespect to the Prophet Muhammad at all.
Sounds like a Batman villain.
That's who he was. He was murdered by the Chicago police in 1928, I believe, because of his beliefs.
Your prophet died less than 100 years ago?
More Science was founded in 1913.
Damn, this is cooler than Mormonism. Like, you're getting some real recent shit. It's cool.
So, Hakima, do you think that it's okay for someone to have sex with?
Today, now, but throughout history, that was normal.
So, no, it wasn't normal, but you think it's okay.
It was normal.
Hakima, having sex with a 9-year-old was not normal, no.
Hold on. In America, the age of consent was 10, in some places 7.
Yeah, so I'm talking about all of humanity. So you're okay with, if you had a daughter 3,000 years ago, you would have been okay with your daughter having sex?
I'm going to raise my daughter how I raised my daughter. And
yeah, you're deflecting. So can you answer the question?
No, I'm not. You asked about my daughter, and I'm telling you particularly about my daughter.
Exactly, 3,000 years ago.
Which I have 4 of.
Yep.
And no, she would not be sleeping with no one at 7 or 9 or 10 or 15.
Okay.
And not because I'm restricted, because I taught her better than that.
Okay. So 3,000 years ago, would you have allowed her to have sex?
With a 50-something-year-old man, to be specific.
You sound stupid. I just said.
You said the world it was different. You said it was different. So you said it was acceptable at that time. So if you had a daughter 3,000 years ago, you would have been okay with your daughter at 9 years old having sex.
She's 3.
Hold on. Let me answer the question. Who the fuck knows? You don't know what you would be doing 3,000 years ago. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, you're deflecting again, and you're not answering the question.
Hold on, guys. Guys. Let's ask more of a deliberate, intentional question. 3,000 years ago, Hakima, whether it's 3,000 years ago, whether it's 100 million years ago, would you be okay with your 9-year-old daughter having sex with a 50-year-old man?
That's it, chill.
Y'all sound dumb as hell, but I just say, y'all sound dumb. I don't know what, you don't know what you'll be doing 3,000 years ago. First of all, it wasn't let's be clear, that wasn't 3,000 years ago. That was years.
It really was a yes or no answer.
I mean, you don't tell me how to answer the question. Like, I don't, like, what do you think this is?
Wait, hold on.
Make me answer your question the fuck the way you want me to answer?
Yeah, hold on. Everyone.
Weirdo.
Well, hold on. Let's just first of all, let's get some facts on the table, okay? So, Hakima, you'd said that the age of consent in the 1700s in the Americas was 10. I'm looking this up. It's actually the age of consent. This isn't going to sound good, but the age of consent was 12 years old based on 1275 English law statute of Westminster. It was later raised to 13 in 1875 and then 16 in 1885. So here's the difference between how you're responding to this. Can I just just let me finish what I'm saying. So first of all, proper context. When people say that age of consent laws were younger back in the day, it's true. In the Americas, it was 12, then it moved to 13, then it moved to 16 by 1885. Here is the difference, Hakima. In when people bring this up, because I guarantee you, most of the people in this room did not fucking know that age of consent laws in the United States of America started out at 12 years old, and it didn't raise till 16 until 1885. I guarantee you most people in this room did not know that. So we're putting the facts on the table. But the important distinction here is that the vast majority of Americans, and I would imagine most of the people in this room, are going to say that they think that that's disgusting. But when we ask somebody that's a Muslim to talk about age of consent laws, what they say is, oh, well, you got to understand the time. And I don't understand why being Muslim causes you to defend younger age of consent laws. That part
I mean, I'm who's defending it? I'm curious. I'm like, who's defending it?
Well, you are.
You asked about my daughters, and I told her I have 4 of them, and I would not let them participate in that. And you want me to make a hypothetical and give you some clear answer of what I would be doing 3,000 fucking years ago?
So the answer to the question that you were asked, and from a personal, Hakima, I'm trying to clarify your response. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm trying to clarify my own response, though, Adam. How about that? How about that? I can't clarify my own response? Oh, no, you do it better. Go ahead.
Hakima, so in what you just said, then you would agree to the statement that given the time frame that we're talking about and given the context of this being your own child as a subject matter, you would not be okay with a 9-year-old having sex with a 50-something-year-old person. So why we had to go through all this minutia for you to say, no, I would not be okay with that is just, I mean, why? It's just unnecessary.
I said it in the beginning, but you gave hypothetical about 3,000 years ago. And like I said then and said now, who knows what the fuck they would be doing 3,000 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the simple answer to the question would have just been no. You know what I mean? Because you eventually came to that simple answer with explaining yourself and painting yourself into a light that's not representative to your actual beliefs. And I just feel like you just put yourself
in unnecessary. What are you talking about? I never went backwards. I never changed my stance not one time. So you talk about like I said something different then than now. I didn't.
Hakima.
I said the exact same thing then that I said now. So don't act like I changed it from a yes to a no.
Hakima,
I clearly said what I expect from my daughter today, and I clearly said who the fuck knows what any of us will be doing 3,000 years ago.
You can get really mad about it, but I just wanted a yes or no. And it's hard for you.
What you wanted, and you called it weird, called me.
And now you're getting all mad again. And the more mad you get, the more silly.
Because you're being passive aggressive.
Am I? I'm asking you a straight up question.
Hakima,
and you can't answer.
Listen, the reason why I reframed the question was to avoid this. The reason why I reframed the question was to avoid this. That's it. It was a very simple question, and again, based on the answer that you gave, I knew exactly what people were going to start insinuating, assuming, or any of those things. And let me be very clear. Hakima is an exceptional father. He's a good person. I don't think that he's a weirdo. I think that he's being put in a situation where he's having to...
Fucking Steve's gonna fuck my copyright up.
Actually believes, which is why I reframed the question the way that I did, because again, I know that you don't believe that it's okay to do that, but again, for some reason, there was an apprehension to give like a simple yes or no answer to a very simply pointed question.
Hey Adam, do me one favor, everybody on Clubhouse who's been here any time, give me one time when one motherfucker answered a yes or no question, yes or no. I done seen many people try to get
I'll do it for you since you're having a hard time. Since you're having a hard time, I'll do it for you. Do I think that it's okay at any point in time for a 9-year-old to have sex? No.
Okay, great.
If I had a daughter now or 3,000 years ago, would I be okay with her having sex? No.
You don't know what you would be okay with.
You're right, because I am just a white woman.
Oh, wow. Don't demote yourself.
Wait, well, what does race have to do with this? Like, I don't think that race has anything to do with this.
Clearly it do. Clearly it do.
No, I want to know, why is it that you think that you rephrasing the question, he would be able to answer it?
Because
you versus me. Because even though you rephrased it, it's the same question. And he can't answer it.
Why are you guys stuck on that? Why don't we move on, right?
Well, we can, but what do you want to do? Do you want to talk about something else?
Right.
Is this something you want to do?
We're
trying to clarify.
Kristen, the reason why I reframed the question was, again, to reiterate the intention of why the question was to be asked. It wasn't a gotcha moment to indict him based on the faith that he believes in. It was a point of him recognizing a question along something that we all recognize as something inappropriate and unacceptable. And given that specific question, what are his thoughts on those particular matters of that specific question? That is the only, hold on, I'm speaking for myself. That is the only reason why I reframed that question. Because it kind of sounded like the reason, it kind of sounded like the tone of the question was more pointed towards catching him in a gotcha moment in terms of his beliefs, as opposed to the morality of the actions that he's being asked about.
Hey, Adam, here was one part you guys missed. The original question she asked me, would I be okay with my daughter sleeping with someone in marriage? I clearly said I have 4 daughters, and I'm not okay with them sleeping with someone. Then she went to the hypothetical. Well, what about 3,000 years ago? That's what happened. So to act like I'm not answering the question, I answered that question directly. She changed it to hypothetical about 3,000 years ago, which nobody can fucking answer the question. So to act like I'm dodging the question or being disingenuous or defending Muhammad or Islam, I did none of that. I literally answered that question.
Totally did. You totally did defend him. You said 3,000 years ago was a different time. So you are full of shit.
That would be. I said that before you asked that.
Yeah. So Akima, you speak a lot about race. So I would like to know what you thought about Muhammad trading 2 black slaves for 1 Arab slave.
And first of all, you 100% wrong. I do not talk a lot about race. I end up in rooms where the moderators bring up race. I'm never the person to bring up race. So you're wrong about that, first of all. So you can correct that part, then ask me a question again.
Yeah, so I guess, so you seem to take, racism as like a serious issue. I mean, I've talked to you multiple times though, so, if that's more specific to what you say. So yeah, I'd like to know though still how you feel about, Muhammad trading 2 black slaves for 1 Arab slave. Is that not white supremacy?
You said Muhammad was white, but first of all, I don't care.
He was described a lot by the whiteness.
Okay, but let me answer your question. I'm not here to defend Muhammad. My prophet is the prophet Noble Ali. You guys can try to bash the prophet Muhammad all you want to. I'm not here to answer for him or defend him. So I don't defend slavery in no form. But I definitely understand that slavery then was different from slavery of the Americas. But either way, I don't defend slavery. So I don't get your question. Now, since trading any slave of any race is not okay. I don't care if it's 10 or 2 or 14 or whatever it is.
But do you have the issue with the fact that, Muhammad himself, that he felt that, an Arab was worth more than black people?
Did you hear my question? My answer? I mean, you're doing the same thing Christians do. Like you want to hear what you want to hear.
No, I listen.
Okay. Well, how do your second question make any sense? With my answer I gave to the first.
Because to me, I understand you're not interested in defending Islam. That's okay.
I'm not interested in defending slavery. Whether it's an Arab slave to 2 black slaves. Or the vice versa, I don't care how you think it's not okay.
I just wanted to know how you feel though, basically.
He just told you that. Anytime a man would be telling you, he would be lying. Like, what do you want him to make up some narrative to make you feel better? Like, he literally just told you how he felt on the issue. So again, if you're not hearing that he's going to denounce Muhammad, that's between you and him and Muhammad. Okay, but again, you asked him, does he have a problem with a certain practice that's consistent with your frustration and your denouncement of the same person? I just don't understand why he needs to say exactly what you want him to say in the exact way that you want him to say it to get to any other conclusion that we've already gotten to.
And Ms. Aguirre wanted to change the topic. Gary wanted to ask a question. And Stanley, you got a pink ticket, so Stanley, you got to cash in that pink ticket. Ms. Aguirre, what do you want to change the topic to?
Wait, what's the ticket for? I don't even know what this is for.
Hold on. I can explain that part. So you are currently in the muff, and if you enjoy being in the muff, we would ask you to click on the link up above that says in the muff, and then just join. So some people don't like being in the muff. For those that don't like, it's like muff.
mouth was in the muffin.
All right, so Miss Gary, you wanted to change the topic. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about?
No, that's okay. I'll continue to listen.
You're Gary. I think you're Gary, right, Gary? We'll come to you next.
Yeah,
Gary, go on mute. Yeah.
Hold on. And let me say this about Gary, because Gary and I had a conversation the other night, and he was very, very polite. We got in a spirited debate. He was wrong about something, but I will say this. Not only in a spirited debate where I got a little, you know how I get. I won't apologize, but you guys know how I get. I got how I got, and he remained very polite to me, and I thanked him for that. So I like him. And then he came back to the room yesterday, and he did the research based on the conversation we had, and he acknowledged where he was wrong, something that never happens on the clubhouse streets. So I want everybody to give Gary a follow. I think Gary, despite our disagreement, I think he's an honorable guy, and I think everyone should.
I'm following him right now. Okay, Ms. Gary, you wanted to change the topic.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm already following.
I would like to go back. Did you guys talk about the title? Should fat people pay higher taxes?
Yeah, we spent about an hour on it. Yes.
Okay, for those that just got here, I'll lay out the tax plan. If you get your percentage of body fat to be to a fit level, you can be completely tax exempt regardless of income. And then if you're average body fat percentage, then you're going to pay a flat 20% income tax. And if you are fat, then anybody men 25%. Body fat, and this is not BMI, this is percentage of body fat. For men, 25% or more, they would pay a penalty. They would pay a 40% flat rate income tax. Women, we raise that up to 32. Their bodies are built a little different, and so for women, they can be exempt if they're fit. If they're average, they pay 20%. But if they're 32% or more, they're going to pay 40% tax.
So you add in the equality of the fat tax is added to also the tax if you are taking an erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, well, we haven't voted on that one yet, but we did agree that if you smoke cigarettes, you do automatically have to pay the 40% tax, and if those cigarettes are menthol, you have to pay 45%.
Thanks. Let me ask this. So then, are we paying for people's health insurance?
You're going into the matrix, Ms. Gary. You're going into the matrix, Ms. Gary.
Why would they pay higher?
You're going into the matrix, Ms. Gary. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Should they? So, are you going to pay their hospital bills? Are you paying for their insurance? Is that why you're paying higher taxes, or what is the reason they're paying higher taxes? Because
I can answer that. And by the way, when your voice is in the matrix, it sounds like you're having a stroke. When you have a stroke, it makes me think that your tax rate should be 40%. But let me answer your question. Fat people are a bigger burden on the system. And now, unless you want to get rid of some of the systems that we have in place, I'm just proposing a bill that would, instead of basing income tax based on the income that you receive, we want to base the income tax based on your obesity levels. And so we want to incentivize people to become tax exempt by becoming more healthy, because then there'll be less of a drain on the system. Some people are just going to go out and do the same old things they're doing today, and if they do, I think they should pay a higher rate of tax. And for those that become less of a drain on the system, I think it's fair that they're tax exempt.
But you didn't answer if you're paying their medical.
You didn't listen. No, you didn't listen. Listen, we are already paying. Emergency rooms don't turn anybody away, not even the fatties. They turn nobody away. You could be illegal. You show up in an emergency room, they won't turn you away. What we would do is continue, like we do today, to subsidize this shit
But since we are going to subsidize it because you guys are nothing but a bunch of goddamn socialists, I'm just proposing that the people that are the biggest drain on this pool of wealth, that the people that are the biggest drain are the ones that could put the most money in. I'm happy to report that Sarah has gotten herself out of the obesity range, and she's got her tax rate down to 20%.
Mojo, can we tax skinny men too?
It depends. I mean, you can be skinny fat, and
no, I want to tax skinny men, the ones that don't work, and the ones that don't work their legs too. If there is not a proportion.
Well, okay. Walk me through how they're a drain on society in the same way that a fat person.
The skinny man is just they usually join Antifa, and then they burn the buildings down, and they're not attractive.
Wait, go look at the fucking mugshots from Antifa in Portland. There was a good mix of skinny and fat people.
We had a lot of skinny ones though, and they're not attractive though. Look, if you're taxing women for being fat and all these things, if you want me to pay 20% tax, come on. Men that are not attractive, they should be taxed.
Wait a minute, Roger did not discriminate. The fat tax was equal for men and women. He didn't discriminate.
Well, and actually, I'm allowing for additional percentage of body fat for women, for those of you that carry your weight in your...
No, you're not. You're not adding enough, though. It's clearly not enough weight.
Dad, why are you biting?
Yes, please don't bite.
What am I doing? What? I didn't hear you.
You're biting the bait.
Wait, so Roger, what about women that are shaped, before,
I'm
like,
just
up,
giving
down,
them some
upside down?
entertainment.
Can she not hear me? Is she okay? Is she okay? Is she doing whippets again? Like, what's happening? So, and then she muted.
Hey, let me just say this. Those of you that have mod badges, please don't abuse the power. It was brought to my attention that the muting things just reminded me of this, but it was brought to my attention that when JB came into a room that had been going all night, he was removed. I won't say who did it, but we pretty much know who did it. I don't want to hold everybody accountable for that, but what I would say is just be responsible if you can with the moderator badge. I would like to be able in this house, because I think that we should have some democratization in the MUF. I think that the MUF should have great diversity. I want to empower and mod as many people as possible in the MUF, and so I'm just requesting that you guys take that responsibility serious and don't just have petty disagreements. If somebody's doing something that's clearly egregious, of course, do the right thing. You can mute them, you can move them down, and in some extreme cases, you can move them out of the room. But a petty difference, if somebody you just dislike them for one reason or another, or you got drama in some other room with them, you don't remove them from the room. And by the way, if you have a grievance that you think is significant, bring it up to me, and then I can tell you if that's something that we should consider. Because there are some big pains in the ass people on this app, and I don't want to tell you guys that you can't use your moderator privileges. Just want you to use them wisely. There's no reason why JB should have been removed from a room in the MUF. In the MUF is for people that we enjoy talking to, and if you don't enjoy talking to JB, then you're probably not going to enjoy being in the MUF.
I don't like being a moderator. I'm not very good at it. So I'm going to go back to the thingy. Can you bring me back up and not...
They let...
Yeah, so before I was very rudely interrupted by Sarah, which we all know that she muted me. We all know it was Sarah that muted me.
I gave you hearts right when I muted you. What is wrong with you?
No. It was definitely you that muted me. It was definitely you. That had Sarah all over it. Okay, that had Sarah all over it. Okay. So, Sarah definitely muted me. And now I forgot what I was going to say. You know what? Fuck you, Sarah.
Wow. Sarah, you got a track record for this shit. You should repent.
Let's say hello to Sammy, even though Sammy has a pink ticket. Hi, Sammy. Sammy going once, Sammy going twice. Okay, Sammy's asleep. Let's say hello to Ooh. Hi, Ooh.
Oh yes, I remember it now. So at what point are?
I'm sorry.
At what point? Oh no, you're fine. Unless you're fat, which again, we definitely owe me another apology for that. No, I'm kidding. So at what point are we gonna start dragging fat people? Like, this is getting old. Like, I want to get back into my wheelhouse. Like, let's get back to the big back. Like, what's going on?
Okay, just wanted to say that even though I have a fat person in my profile photo and I'm not fat, I really do think that we should tax fat people because, like, I was researching this topic and I made a video about it for class. And in the class, I explained that cows can,
you also have what appears to be a woman in your profile, but you sound like a man.
Yeah, wait, hold on. We have to do the trifecta of doom. It's also a white.
Yeah, I think that I addressed that earlier, but yeah, cows contribute to a significant amount of greenhouse gases. And
Yo, can I say something about fat people?
You can in a moment. Go on mute, and you can in a little bit when it's your turn. Thank you. Go ahead, who has the trifecta of sounding like a man and having a picture of a white woman, yes.
Yes, so cows contribute a significant portion of the greenhouse gases on the planet. So in a similar way, fat people probably cause a lot of issues in terms of using resources like water for the food that they eat, or contributing to greenhouse gases by being like a cow and producing methane more than the regular person. So I think it's very important that we tax fat people and we make their lives more difficult so that we can all live better lives.
Thank you. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like fat people already have a difficult time getting through life.
Sammy, did you want to talk? Or Sammy, are you good?
Oh no, I'm just listening. You guys are amusing me right now.
Love that. Hello, Kristen. Kristen and then Cash. Hello, Kristen. Kristen going once, Kristen
Are you
die.
talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, what about? I'm sorry. No, I have nothing to say. I'm fine.
No problem. Let's say hello to Cash with the pink ticket. Hello, Cash.
Hello.
Hello, what do you want to talk about?
Fat people.
Go ahead.
And paying higher taxes.
Go ahead.
Like when I was a kid and I was a young boy, I used to get sodas and candies, and it used to be like 25 cents for this, 50 cents for that. Now I'm paying all of this money, and I found out it's like a sugar tax. Cause like, I don't know, for some reason I think it got something to do with fat people. Also, like, let's say you go buy a bed, right? Go buy a bed, and it's like, they probably got like extra wood and extra this and that, cause it's probably like the weight scale that the bed can hold, right? It's like, it gotta be able to hold 5. Man, I ain't 500. Me and my lady not 500 put together. You could put the baby in the bed, and that's all that extra wood that I ain't fucking need in my bed. Now I'm paying more for the product. So it's like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, once you answer the question, when was the last time you and your lady and your kid bought a bed?
Like, last year.
Really? And, what is it? Is it a queen, double king, Cal King, what?
The bed.
What size is the bed?
Does that have anything to do? I don't know. I feel like you're.
You don't know what size bed you bought a year ago.
I get nervous when people start.
Wait, hold on.
What does it have to do about
Kristen? Hold on.
I'm not fat.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Steve asked a simple question about the guy said that he bought a bed, and then
Yeah, but then he asked me another question.
Well, hold on. Then he asked you what size the bed was, and then all of a sudden you didn't realize that fucking beds come in sizes. I'm going to suggest
they do.
That, yeah, well, because you couldn't answer that question. I'm gonna guess what you bought was a sleeper sofa, and that you sleep on the couch.
Like,
that's what I.
Yeah, I bought a headboard and like a mattress, and I even got a topper. First time in my life I got a topper. Have you ever had a topper before?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Makes it extra comfy.
Yeah, but I like memory foam with the gel. But let me ask you this, Cash. What size mattress did you buy?
A king size.
got a king. Steve, you got your answer.
California king and Eastern king.
No,
Standard king.
Yeah, that's right. So go ahead, Cash. So how is your lady and the baby?
How are they?
Yeah, you said you had a lady and a baby, right?
They're fine.
Cool. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I was just wondering about the fat people and the taxes, and like, did you think that was a good point? Like, maybe, like, and get a little bit of cheaper prices and shit, right?
So I do
it's
have
like
a
the weight
question
that it's holding is crazy. Like, I don't need you to use all that resource to hold all that extra weight. That's probably like extra cloth that I have to pay for.
Got it. So I do have a question. As far as bed sizes and, even the size of our vehicles, full big body sedans, big bodies for big backs, do you not see that the overuse of space actually encourages or creates an ecosystem for people to irrationally expand or subconsciously expand?
Bro, you kind of like mind fucked me. Could you say it again in layman terms?
So I mean, like, I have a queen size bed. Like, why do I need a king? I'm over 6 foot tall. I gave you guys my height and weight. Like, why do I need a king size bed? I just feel like it's just an overuse of a bunch of space that I'm not otherwise, utilizing. So don't you think that, people in America, where you're living in average size homes with average size room dimensions, why are we eating up our rooms with such big furniture? To what? I mean, do we spend that much time in bed that we need all of this extra space? Do we have different attitudes towards leisure and laziness and immobility? Like, why does somebody with a family of 3 need a king-size bed?
And actually, it's a fact that a double and a queen, a king, and a California.
All right, can I tell you something?
You can in a moment when I finish talking. You can in a moment when I finish talking.
I thought you were gonna call me.
No. I'll let you know when I finish. There will be no doubt.
I'm gonna call you a queen if you keep cutting off Uncle Steve.
As I was saying, that the length of a double, queen, king, cal, king, they're all the same. It's the width that's the difference. Okay, now you can go ahead and talk.
Alright. Because like y'all were badgering me, I lied, so I should come clean. It's a queen size bed. And I think the queen size is perfectly fine. Because I'm a little tall. Sometimes my feet, get close to the edge. But then I roll around sometimes, Then you need space and a lot of cushion for the pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get active too, man. Depends how much, some people, when they dance, they use more space,
I mean, it depends on how you sleep. So
some
how many
do a 2-step, right?
How many pillows are you using?
Random. It depends. I got special pillows. I got cervix pillows. I got long. It depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay, so maybe that's why
I'm a guy who buys
your
pillows
feet
like
are
twice a year.
coming off the bed.
Pillows.
Maybe you need to remove the layers and the rows of pillows that you have between your headboard and where you're headed.
The point is, right? The point is, I paid all this for the bed, and it's probably because it needs to hold more weight than it really has to. Because like the average,
So wouldn't it be easier just to put your wife on a diet?
She's not fat. I'm not fat. It's like, the bed's too strong. Like, they're making it extra strong just in case a fat person buys it. You don't get it?
Cash, I got a question for you.
Like, what don't you get, Doc?
I don't
want to hit Skype.
Cash, I have a question for you. Is your girlfriend or your wife, whatever she's
baby mama?
Is she an African American?
No.
Is she a white girl?
No.
What nationality is
she? She's Samoan.
Oh, you definitely need a big bed. No, you definitely need a big bed. I hope you don't have box springs, and I hope you put cinder blocks under that bitch. I'm telling you. I hope you have a big.
Hold on. Can we?
Small poly girl.
Hold on. Someone set up a GoFundMe so we could buy a new bed for this man and his coconut eating Polynesian girlfriend.
Well, and a Hoyer lift. He gonna need one of those pretty soon enough. He gonna need one of those soon enough. Just get her out of bed, put her in the tub.
Damn, bro, like.
Why y'all assuming he ain't got no money for a bed?
When I get on the listen,
We
when
didn't
I go
assume
sit
they
on
had
the
no money for a
airplane,
bed.
I bet you the airplane is meant to hold the airplane seat is meant to hold somebody up to 700 pounds. Like, nah, I don't need them.
No, the fuck they're not.
That's a lot of extra. We should just have seats for fat people.
Hold on. What you're not gonna tell me? What you're not gonna tell me? Okay.
I'm not trying to body shame, but let's have a double XL section, just like shirts and shit. Get your own shit.
This is what happens when the EBT office closes for the holiday.
Trying to troll me. You can't out-troll.
Can you please? So even a medical grade Hoyer lift, okay, better known.
Lose theirs.
Okay, so you obviously can't hear when people are speaking. So even a medical grade Hoyer lift, they have a max capacity of 500 pounds. 500 pounds. So if you're talking about a 700-pound person, what they need to do is they need to remove the roof and the ceiling structure or wherever that fat-ass person is, and they need to have AAA or somebody with a Caterpillar crane. Okay, get them and roll their fat ass from one end of the bed to the other. Because again, if your biggest issue is that you can't find something to lift you at 700 pounds, the equipment is not the issue. It's you stuffing your fucking pie hole.
Hey, I'm just going to chime into this and say the reason I get a king is because when she wants to cuddle, I want her in her own zip code. Like that whole cuddling and feelings thing is just for the fucking birds. Stay in your zip code, I'll stay in mine, and we'll be all right.
You can still accomplish that in the queen size bed.
Well, hold on. I want to co-sign with what Brad's saying. Not just the cuddle thing. I think just it's wise to have separate bedrooms from your partner. Here's why. You should have a bed for fucking and a bed for sleeping. You might even have separate beds for sleeping, but there should be a separate bed for fucking. And this is the pro tip. If you're going on a vacation with your gal pal, and you go to get the hotel room, don't opt for the king bed. Get two queens. You fuck on one bed, then you sleep on the other bed.
So what are your thoughts on separate bathrooms? Because I will give you the separate bathroom issue. Okay, cohabitating with another person in one freaking bathroom, like that I actually do agree with. Like you definitely do need a separate bathroom, especially if you're married. No, but if you're especially if you're in a relationship with a woman that spends a lot of time putting on makeup and doing hair and a bunch of other shit, like you definitely need to get a separate bathroom. Like what if you don't have a bathroom where you need to take a shit, right? And there's a separate room for the toilet, or whether it's called like a water closet. What if you have a narrow bathroom and you can't get behind your girl to go into the shitter? That's a recipe for a horrible, horrible marriage. Here it is, this woman is spending all this time trying to get herself pretty, yet she's spending, time sitting there sniffing up your freaking fermented baked beans that's being dropped off in the toilet. Like, we should definitely have separate bathrooms.
Well, I agree, and I co-sign Adams's point because I'm tired of finding the hairy monster that's crawling down the wall or clogging the drain point. The 15 different bottles of shampoo, you're washing your face with Vagisil fucking ointment or some shit like that, or fucking face creams and stuff like that. It's annoying. Just give me my bar of soap and I'm good. And the other thing, when you're in the shower and the woman ate Thai food fucking yesterday, and all of a sudden has to run in there, and you're just like, oh, please don't start having a fucking 2-hour conversation about whatever you need while you're sitting there trying to shower, and you're just like, I just want peace and quiet. This is the only spot I get for 15 minutes out of the day. Let me have my solid.
Well, not only that, once these women hit menopause, Brad, this was a horror story for my dad. He couldn't get into the bath. My mom was sitting up in the bathroom taking cold showers and shit. My dad couldn't even wash off after a workout. He was using the guest bathroom for a minute. I'm telling you, couples need to use separate bathrooms. Separate bathrooms are the key to success. Separate bathrooms. Separate bathrooms today, separate bathrooms tomorrow, separate bathrooms to keep relationships together in America. I live with you, and I have to put up with your bullshit. It doesn't mean that when I'm brushing my teeth, I should have to smell it.
Yeah.
I'm a problem.
Hold on, sir. This conversation's for people that have
homes with running water. I think that the better reason why we need to remove the toilet from the bathroom is the obvious thing. Like, people that keep their toothbrush in the same room that they shit in, maybe others are shitting in the same. Like, you should not have. And you guys should go look in your bathrooms right now. If you are, and I don't want to hear about it, fucking a cover for your toothbrush. I don't want to hear about that you keep it in the fucking cabinet. If you keep your fucking toothbrush in the same room where you take a shit, you're disgusting. Because if you could smell it, that thing you're smelling is particles of shit that are now inside your nose. If they're inside your nose for you to smell it, they're on your toothbrush for you to brush your teeth.
Yeah, so my bathroom,
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, you guys use a toothbrush repeatedly? Because I'm a one and done kind of guy.
Are you crazy?
That's fucking it. Yeah, I have like a whole fucking cabinet filled with toothbrushes. I pull one out for the day, unwrap it, and that's what I use, and I toss it away. That thing just grows mold, and it has fucking fecal particles on it. It's got your fucking whatever you fucking threw in your mouth, and all tossed on it. Like, I throw the fucking toothbrush away. You guys reuse that shit? Man, that's...
Yeah, but you don't think that you have to break a toothbrush in to some degree?
That's a good. Hey, Brad, you know they got like toothbrush cases you can put your toothbrush in so it don't get like the fecal matter and from flushing the toilet and all that on there. Right?
No, but it still gets mold on it. It's wet. Like, what are you drying it? You air drying it out? Like, that water just sits on it and gathers mold in a dark, musty fucking place, which is your bathroom. Like, why wouldn't you throw it out and just grow mold on it? You're brushing your teeth with mold and fecal particles like Roger.
I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna start a toothbrush company so I can sell directly to Brad.
Yeah, well, Brad, so let's assume that you brush at least twice a day, 365. That's over 700 toothbrushes a year that you go through.
365 and a quarter, Roger. I buy them in cases. Like, you can go to Costco and get they all come in different colors. You can buy cases of them in the hundreds. It's really easy. I've always done that. Like, I don't see the need. Like, it just struck me as weird. It's like people who say, I use a washcloth, but then they hang the same washcloth up in the shower and reuse it for an entire week. Same thing with a towel. You're like wiping yourself off with like water. It grows mold. Like, yeah, I just use one toothbrush per day, then toss it.
That might clearly that's the healthiest thing to do, not the most cost effective. So everybody, clearly nobody can criticize you saying it's unhealthy, but it's just not cost effective for most people. But it definitely clearly got to be more healthy. If you use a new toothbrush and a new washcloth every day and a new towel, yeah, that's.
But I don't know if we asked Brad the most important question: is how does he wash his legs, or is he one of these white folks that just doesn't wash his leg? What?
I absolutely wash my legs. Why wouldn't I? Dude, I'm always out in the woods, in the wilderness. I'm covered in dirt, ticks, fucking, all sorts of shit that, basically, of course I wash my legs.
Who washes their legs?
Who doesn't wash their legs?
Humans wash their legs. I mean, you don't wash your legs tonight.
Y'all wash your legs?
You don't wash your legs when you take a shower?
White people do not.
And y'all thought I was lying when I said I was part Caucasian. Like, what the fuck are you talking
about? There is a popular, maybe it's a trope, maybe it's actually true, I don't know. We can discuss it. But I learned on Clubhouse that white people don't wash their legs. Does anybody want to elaborate on the...
I would like to elaborate. There's a distinction, and again, I'm going to go to feet. I don't wash my feet, okay? I don't think it's a big deal. But, no, hold on. I wash my legs, but I don't wash the bottoms of my feet. Now, a lot of people are totally concentrated on washing their feet, but what I find, and please forgive me, this might sound disgusting, but a lot of people pee in the shower. So for those that pee in the shower, they're incessant about washing their feet because they're standing in piss.
Well, your toes should be extra clean then.
Well, Steve,
I do wash my legs. Yeah.
Steve, the part that you're missing, though,
yes,
is that if you urinate on your feet, you're less likely to get athlete's foot. And so, as a best practice, you should be urinating in the shower on your feet.
But I mean, you go in the shower. I wash my whole body, so of course I wash my legs, but I don't wash the bottom of my feet.
Actually, even better, you can get someone else to urinate on your feet.
Look at that.
Warm showers. Yeah.
Kristen is offering to take a shower and wash her feet.
I am offering nothing. Thank you for trying to whore me out, though.
Sounds like a case of the golden jacuzzi.
You know I'm dedicated to you only.
What about shower shoes, like slippers?
Never.
No. Wait. Hold on. What are you, Turkish? No. I've been to prison. That's why I asked.
Oh
God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, no. Here's what I will say. I do have one family member where he has like a polished stone, like shower, where it's one of those things where it's like if you're walking through that shower and you just happen to have like your big toe go beneath your foot and it drags it across the floor, you may get cut. So in that type of aesthetic, I would say, it would make sense. Like, shout out to the people that have Pebble Tech showers. Once that starts to age, surfaces start to get a little bit rougher than when it was first installed. I can definitely understand that. But the same shoes that I'm going to use to go to the beach, okay, I'm definitely not going to wear in my shower. I'm sorry.
These are the days that I am so thankful to be single and living by myself.
These are the days that I'm going to spend my... What is it? Today is like technically my Friday. Like I'm going to spend my Thursday afternoon dyeing my hair.
Hey Roger, this is exactly what the Moors are trying to teach you guys about how to clean yourself. I guess you guys need a new lesson or something.
Hey, by the way, so I don't necessarily wash the towel over my legs, but what I do is I wash my hair, and that the soap or the shampoo washes down my legs. So technically, my legs are being washed whether I do it or not, right?
No, that's a third-party washing. Like, think about all the ball sweat and all the shit that's coming down, as it's passing down those nether regions that aren't necessarily the most focus of being washed, all the way down to your toes. Like, I mean, it's like, y'all just don't look at the bigger picture, I'm telling you.
There's also a thing called epithelials and dead skin cells and things like that, and it's more sanitary too. You need a good scrub down.
LA or very California, but let me just ask you this. Do you guys vacuum your skin?
What?
I don't vacuum my skin, but I have a question for Kristen real quick before we get into vacuuming skin. Kristen, do you shave the thing?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you keep the muff clean?
Why does this have anything to do with what we're talking about?
Is it like a high top fade?
Let's go back to what we were talking about so we can stay on top.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You should shave lines into it like the colored kids do when they're getting those.
I think we should go back to what we were talking about before about not cleaning ourselves thoroughly, especially if we plan on mating with someone in the future. That might be something to really explore.
Okay, Kristen, I have the question. I've heard this many times. No, I gotta ask. I gotta ask this. I have to ask this. Kristen, I have heard many times that women, if they're going on a date, that if they don't shave their legs, they know before the date starts, they are not going to, do it with the guy. That if the guy has any chance, the woman has to shave her legs before she leaves the house. Is that true, or is that not true?
I would say that if she found out on the first date that the man doesn't wash his feet, there's no other thought about shaving legs or anything after.
And I appreciate that, but the question is...
No, I've answered your question.
If a woman does not shave her legs before she leaves the house, the guy doesn't have a chance. Is that true?
You may want to ask other girls.
Okay, fair enough.
It depends. It depends.
I have a question for you, Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you ready for this?
I am ready for it. You can ask me anything you want. I will answer truthfully and honestly, yes.
Do you think Aisha shaved her legs before she went on her first date with the Prophet Muhammad?
Was she able to grow pubic hair?
I don't think she had any hair there, so the answer is no, she didn't shave her legs.
Hey, did y'all know that Aisha would be one of the most important philosophical scholars in Islam? Y'all know that she grew up to be like a very important woman. Like, why y'all like want to like act like she was some piece of meat, some whore from...
No, that's not what he said at all. Hold on. You got that wrong. You got that wrong. Hold on. No, everyone mute the fuck up. Nobody's ever... We don't victim blame around here. She was a victim. And the fact that she was able to grow up through that abuse and do great things with her life, that's amazing. But that's weird that you would say that we're clearly on the side that she was innocent in this, and the person that was foul was the Prophet.
Why you joke about whether she's shaved or not, then? If she's a victim, why are you asking if she's shaved or not?
Our joke is not centered on the victim. Our joke is centered on the perpetrator. Because the perpetrator support seems to believe that the perpetrator is the victim of Islamophobia. No, he's the victim of his own disgusting sexual predilections that led him to be a pervert. It has nothing to do with Aisha, the victim. So, like, what are you talking about?
The difference between Muslim and Muslim.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, Kikima, the only honor that Aisha had was wiping semen off of her husband's clothes.
Okay, so now Necro is actually the one who's being disrespectful and making light of it. So again, don't accuse us of pointing out the fact that there is a certain perpetrator that existed in history, and there's a certain cult following of that said perpetrator. And I'm not saying that all Islamists believe, that this man is who he is. And we're just calling out what this shit is for what it is. But nobody is dragging Aisha. Nobody is denouncing Aisha. What we're saying is she's a victim. She's a victim of a man that has a huge cult following that's followed by a bunch of potential perverts who was in fact a pervert himself. That's where it is.
Hey, the founding fathers of the fucking America was perverts.
Okay, so show me a founding father that would have existed today wearing an ankle bracelet.
You can keep on deflecting, but you're doing deflections.
I don't get none you talking about, Christian.
No, but we're having two different. No, Kristen, in all fairness, we're having
go
two
ahead
different
and look under the
conversations.
dictionary what deflection means.
But we're having two different conversations. He's deflecting in defense of people trying to use this as a gotcha moment to indict his own character. Meanwhile, we're having a separate conversation about the inherent flaws in the ideology that he believes in. Those are two different conversations.
That's not my ideology. What are you listening? Like, why can't you get...
Hakima, I'm literally just defending you. I'm not saying that it's your ideology.
It's in my mouth, though. It's not my ideology. It's not my ideology. Like, what are you missing about that?
That's what I'm asking. And I asked him sincerely, Adams. And you're acting like I did it.
No, Kristen, I understand.
No, I want to know. What is Muslim compared to Muslim?
A Muslim is a person that practices more science. A sect of Islam that was created in 1913, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We are Muslim. We practice the old-time religion.
Okay.
The Islam that is practiced today, from our perspective, is the new Islam. It's not the old Islam.
So can we ask a productive question?
Hold on,
in the form that. Hold on. Let me I
just get an answer though.
Did that satisfy? Did his answer satisfy your question, Christian?
What is the difference of? No, it didn't.
Okay.
Because I know it's a different thing, and I get that. But what is the difference between that and most?
I just told you, more science is a sect of Islam.
Yes, I know it's a sect, but what are the differences between that?
We have different books. We have a Quran, K-O-R-A-N, Circle 7 Quran, written by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Our book is not the Quran, the Q-U-R-A-N that you know that was cited, that was created from the Prophet Muhammad. So it's two different books.
Okay, so I think that kind of gave way to answer your question, Kristen. Like, I understand the colloquial confusion, but at the same time, this is his belief and his set of faith.
So they're two separate religions. So the second one has nothing to do with the first.
According to him, based on what
I would like to know. He can answer for himself.
Let me be clear. They are not separate religions. Different sects. I'd like saying like it's Baptist or fucking Lutheran, different religions. No, they're different sects. No, they're not different religions.
Yeah, but that goes also into, so they're a part of the same denomination, which is Christianity. So, I mean, if you want to look at Baptist and Lutheran...
we under the same thing Islam. We under the same thing Islam.
To answer her question, the difference between what were the two words that you used, Christy?
Muslim and Muslim.
Okay, so between the Muslim and Muslim, they're two different ideological aims within the same denomination of Islam. Is that what I'm hearing?
Muslim? What's a Muslim? I've never heard of that word before.
Harry, don't antagonize it. Just like honestly, I'm trying to move on.
I'm being serious. Is that
I know, Harry.
Adam, you don't gotta shield the word. It is okay to ask the question, though. You act like it's some fringe conspiracy word.
No, but you guys are all my friends, so it's kind of just like, where can we meet halfway in the middle to move on from this conversation?
But there's no criticism asking what is a Muslim, though. There's no criticism. That's a fair question. You know what I'm saying? But you act like don't incite. Now, he's not inciting anything. It's a fair question. But you can easily Google it, though. It's spelled M-O-S-L-E-M opposed to M-U-S-L-I-M. But you can Google if you really want to know what a Muslim is. Some Muslims refer to that as derogatory term because it was an older term than Muslim. So they stuck with Muslim, but that's why we call ourselves the old-time religion, because we practice the old Islam and not the new Islam, which is weird because our Moorish science is 1913, and they're started in, the new Islam started in 700s with Prophet Muhammad, but ours still to the old-time religion because we got old-time beliefs that predates that.
I've been looking online while you're talking about this. I don't see it saying anything about it being a different sect or a different type of Islam when I look up.
I looked it up right now. It says, quote, definition of Muslim, M-O-S-L-E-M, noun, a believer or follower of Islam. To me, that's the same thing.
Okay, you can look at the surface, or you can keep looking.
No, I don't know. I'm just telling you what it says.
I'm not trying to separate. It's okay if we can tie them together. I'm not trying to distinguish. That's why I say it's not a different religion. I'm not trying to distinguish, but Muslims don't call themselves Muslims today. That's just not a thing. A lot of Muslims who really follow that tradition see Muslim as derogatory. If you look up whether Muslim is derogatory, ask that question, you will see that some Muslims consider that derogatory.
But they are both believers or followers of Islam. Is that correct?
Islam, different books. Like I said, Muslim, more science, we have a different Quran.
What is the difference? That is the question now. You've made that clear that they are two different books. What is the difference between them?
That's a huge difference. I mean, they have nothing in common. There's no same word.
Clearly, what are the top three differences?
The origin story is different. The prophet is different, so we have a different origin story. That's a huge difference.
Are they both followers of Islam?
We have a different origin story. The way the world started is different in the Seven Quran than opposed to the Quran. We have an entirely different prophet, which is a huge difference. And Muslims inside our Quran, we have a strong belief in Christ. So those are three huge differences between between Moorish science and traditional Islam, as you know.
But are they both followers of Islam? Is the question.
Like what they would call Islam, they call it Islam, but if you ask me what my faith is, it's called really Islamism. So like you can play with words, but I'm letting you know.
I'm not playing with words.
I'm just saying you can if you take like it depends on how you take it. But I'm just saying they are different religions. I mean, different sects of the same religion, different books with different words that's nowhere near the same words in either book.
Okay, so what is the difference? Like, so the Prophet Muhammad appeared, he did his thing, and he wrote a book, right? That's the origin of the Quran, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the prophet that you follow, what is their origin?
He was born in America. Started religion in 1913.
So, do you believe that that the Moors were here in the Americas before? Like, do you guys believe like you're the original people of the Americas?
And before you answer that, what's the prophet's name in 1913? What's the prophet's name?
Noble Drew Ali, born Timothy Drew.
Timothy Drew.
But do I believe I'm direct? What Noble Drew Ali taught is yes, Moors were in America. Now, can I say I'm a direct lineage of that? No, I can't say that because I can't trace it back to that Moors were in America. So were there Moors in America? Yeah, but can I say I'm directly descended? No, and that's not even a requirement for being a part of the religion.
I know that they've had some issues in years past where there are people that are part of a Moorish movement and they'll they were like taking people's houses that were vacant and declaring it because of their Moorish rights.
Yeah, those were stupid people that is now following what the prophet taught. The prophet taught to follow the laws of America. We always flew the Moorish flag with the American flag. Never said to go against the American government. Follow the law. So all this whole sovereign citizen thing that some Moors do these days don't represent Moorish science at all.
So I mean, couldn't this be applied towards a certain segment of bad acting white people that didn't speak to the collective aims of America, given certain types of laws and practices that were put into place while you still had bad actors that still acted out from a standpoint of privilege? Would it be disingenuous to now, in 2025, label all white people as colonizers and oppressors?
Who labeled all white people? The system.
No, I'm not talking about who labeled all white people. I'm saying that if that argument was launched in the same trajectory as what I just described, wouldn't that be intellectually dishonest?
To label all white people as colonizers, of course that's
Right, because of the actions of very few, right?
I'm gonna say very few. By you saying very few is a stretch because
what percentage of white people in America were slave owners?
It don't matter. It was the norm.
Wait. So if it was a norm, what percentage of white Americans were slave owners?
I don't know. It was accepted. I don't think that's a relevant question.
Okay, but to say that something's a norm, it has to occur in a normal rate.
And it was.
You see what I'm saying? So the existence of something doesn't. How was that something that was normalized?
It was.
So slave ownership in America was something that was normalized.
Yeah, it was normalized. That's why you could own them.
Right. What the fuck are you talking about?
Most people couldn't afford them or have a use for them, but
it was normal. What are we talking about?
So then, how are you going to? Well, no. So we look at two different standpoints of normalization. We look at the existence of something as being normalized, and we also look at the practice, right? The practice and the rates of which it exists. Okay, so the normalization standpoint for which people go to is not the existence that this existed. We all can't argue that it existed, but the rates for which this practice occurred, okay, was not something that was normalized in America from the standpoint of understanding that specific definition.
Timothy Drew, better known as Noble Drew Ali, leader of the Moroccan Empire, January 8th, 1886 to July 20, 1929, was an American who founded the Moorish Science Temple of America, considered a prophet by his followers. In 1913, he founded the Canaanite Temple in Newark, New Jersey, before relocating to Chicago, where he gained a following of thousands of converts. Following the murder of a rival Moorish Science Temple leader, Drew Ali was arrested but never charged and sent to jail. He died in 1929, shortly after his release. I've never heard of this before.
Can I ask you a question, Hekima?
Yeah, let me just add this one thing. The part they did add, they released him after they beat the hell out of him. He died because they beat him. They basically beat him to death and released him. That's what the Chicago police did to him. Go ahead, sir.
So is there any way to answer my question? Less than 5% of Americans before the Civil War actually owned slaves.
Yeah, that's because most people could barely afford to feed themselves.
So is that something that's normal in its practice, or is that something that's normal in its existence?
Both.
Right, exactly.
How?
That's like asking
population.
It's like asking, is the use of trailers in our society normal? The answer is yes. Or tractors, I mean. But most people will never use a tractor. If I bought a tractor, I would have nowhere to even put it.
Is the use of gender hormones to transgender people in society normal when less than 1% actually benefits from it?
Fair use.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Can I ask my question now, Adams? Okay, Hekima, is Muslim is the same religion that I know there's like been modified a little bit and stuff. I get that part, but this is the same religion that a man who would sleep with any woman, they would automatically become their wife forever, right?
That's not in my book. That's not in my doctrine at all.
What do you mean that's not it?
Well,
that's not in my doctrine at all. It's not in my Quran.
But I dated a guy. He was.
Yeah, but this is like different type of it's just.
No. This is the one that's for Indians, American Indians. It's from the tribes in America. It has nothing to do with Islam in the Middle East. I dated a guy, and that's what he told me.
He lied to you. He was trying to manipulate you into some weird shit. Because that's not in the book. The book is not even long. Like my Quran, you can read it in a day. It's not.
So they don't have that culture.
No.
Wait, so your Quran is different than the Quran?
Yes.
It's okay.
Is this very similar to like American people running around in the Democratic Party saying that Donald Trump is not my president? I'm trying to. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, they have their own Quran.
To understand.
They have their own Quran.
Okay, so you have your own Quran. Okay, because again, Pepe, we have one Bible, right? So I mean, to me. Excuse me, the Catholic Church does not read from
the Catholic Church, but other Christians don't.
Okay, so when I say we, I'm speaking to you and I. Right? So again, us as Catholics, we have one Bible. Do we not?
We do, yeah, Catholics.
Okay then. So like I'm saying, is there different ways of being able to I'm trying to understand exactly what Hekima is saying.
I don't
just like how Sunnis and Shias look at, just like how Sunnis and Shias, and you have like the 12% or whatever the fuck they are, the 12ers. I don't know the difference between all these people, but in Islam you have different sects, and then you have this more. He's gonna say old-fashioned. I would say Americanized version of.
But Pepe, if you're not able to know with absolute confidence, allow him to explain. And I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not. No. Hold on. I'm not saying that you're
angry.
Exactly. I'm not saying that you're not allowing him to explain Pepe, but I feel like now more than ever, especially where there's a colloquial understanding and a disconnect from what we actually understand as far as, what Islam is, what Sarah understands as far as what Islam is, and what Hakima is saying, I feel like we should be doing a little bit more listening, you know what I mean, as to what he is actually trying to explain. So again, Hakima, I've opened up the door. Hakima.
You're not listening. See, Pepe, he said Pepe was listening.
This is crazy.
Because I was reading about it. I was reading about it while you guys were talking. So, like, it's literally not, they don't have the same, they don't read the same fucking Quran, dude.
It's a different religion.
So, honestly, with the way Pepe described it, although I disagree, it's a fair description. He say that we describe it as the old time religion, he described it as the American act.
So, Sarah,
I can see that is a fair description, although I disagree, but that is a fair description. It just shows that he's clearly listening to what I'm saying, and you're just not listening. So you're acting like you are, but you're not.
No, I am listening, but Sarah, what is it that you want to insert into this conversation?
No. This Islam, the Islam that Hakima's talking about, the Muslim, whatever way they say it, it's pronounced and spelled in like differently than the Islam and Muslim that I was born and grow in. This is something for American Indians. As far as if I'm incorrect, correct me, Hakima.
They believe they're Moorish. They believe Moors, like a lot of them are black color skin. They came here. They don't believe they're the Indians. They believe that they're Moors.
But the people who practice that, I mean, this person that I know who practiced that was considered Indian in America as American.
Yeah, that's a different ideology. That's not.
But I thought they were talking about the fat people tax.
Whatever it is.
Can we just go one night without talking about what's going on in the Middle East?
We're not talking about the Middle East yet.
I would love to.
I'm so done with it. Like, can we just?
Yeah, but we're not talking about the Middle East.
I would love to. And somehow when I talked about fatness, just got brought back to, blaming Jews and, the constant trope. So yes, I definitely agree with Ann. Roger, can you reset the room and talk about the reasons why you opened up this room? The $1 trillion that America is going to save, in the big beautiful bill, and the $3 trillion that America spends on fatness each and every year. I have talked about this issue. We have dragged the big backs. Right? No, listen. This is the big back silencing bill. Okay, so again, at the end of the day, big backs need to be silent, and if they're not silent, they should negotiate how they're spending their time. And if they can't afford their healthcare premiums, then maybe they should eat less, go on OnlyFans, right? Or go to the strip club. I mean, I'm sure there's a big back market for there somewhere, but I'm tired of paying for the medical non-compliance of fat people. So let's get back to that.
But wait a minute, does it make me an asshole if I don't want to sit next to a big bad fatty on the plane?
No.
That's my whole time.
I don't want to sit next to anyone.
No, it makes you a hero, because at least you're willing to say the quiet part out loud, right? We're tired of sitting next to fat people that occupy our space, that look disgusting, that smell, okay, and that quite frankly, no, who's being mean?
Wait, is that it? You're saying that he's being mean? No, actually, he's looking out for people, because what happens when people are overweight? They have heart attacks, they die.
Thank you. No, Pepe, what now, the Pepe is a fat whisperer? Are you now going to be the fat whisperer, Pepe?
Sure, so if you let
Are you going to save these fat bitches?
Okay, can you calm down?
Are you going to ride in on a caterpillar
freaking You're just being obnoxious. You're just being obnoxious. Hold on, let me say something. Well, there is a highly genetic component to it. Like, we can look at the Salt River Maricopa Pima reservation here. We can look at there's a bunch of different tribes, but they have the highest rate of diabetes out of any ethnic group in the world. It's not because they're pigs or slobs. They literally, their bodies, they evolved to like go long periods of times without eating. Eating 3 meals a day is not like really working out for them.
And fat women go years without their period because they're fat as hell. So again,
but it is highly genetic with people, though, dude.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Nobody is born the size of a fucking baby elephant. Stop it. Okay? Genetics? Like, what are you talking about? If you're born to two fat people, yes, you may be genetically disposed to having the same dumb fat decisions that your parents have control over in their eating habits as opposed to being a slave to their damn genetics. The same way that you do, being bred as a predisposed fat bastard. So what the fuck are we talking about?
So being born insulin dependent and having a metabolism that's just like hella slow.
What percentage of the population is born insulin dependent? What percentage of the No, hold on. Let's talk about science.
You've been talking, and I want to answer this. Because
oh, sorry, Kristen. I didn't realize that was you.
Let's bring it down for a minute. So, understand too, Pepe, that diabetes doesn't mean automatic obesity. Just like obesity doesn't mean
but there's
automatic
a correlation.
Diabetes.
Well,
you are correct in that. However, you are generalizing something that really shouldn't be.
Yeah, it should because they're
together.
Highly correlated.
It is, Chris.
But Pepe, they're not, and you know you're talking nonsense, and so you're
You're over-representing a genetic mutation.
There are a lot of people on this earth that have diabetes, and they do not have an obesity problem.
Yes, but that's once again we're talking about correlation. There's absolutely
no,
correlation
you are
to diabetes.
No, you are.
Okay, do you want me to prove? Do you want me to prove that there's Do you want me to prove that there's statistically a correlation?
You're not a doctor.
I don't need to. All I need to. Adam, stop! You're talking over everybody.
Well,
Yes, I am. Adams, you're being obnoxious, dude. You're being loud and stupid.
You've already put the point up, and you're just repeating yourself. So
okay, so I'll tell you what. Because here's what you do not need to be a doctor to do. I will go ahead and I will post proof that there's a high, and not just a little bit of a correlation, but a high correlation with being diabetic and being obese. That is common fucking knowledge.
Yes. I'll understand that, but you're saying that it's both at the same time.
Can we let Father
hang on a minute? Hang on. My wife's mom is a diabetic. She's been diabetic for like 40 years, something like that. And she's like 100 pounds. And so...
that means something.
5% of diabetes is type 1, which can be skinny, and it happens at a young age, 5 to 10%. 90 to 95% of diabetes is type 2, and 95% of the type 2 diabetics are preventable and reversible by losing weight, Pepe is correct, and lifestyle modification. This is my specialty. I just gave you the numbers, and I'm going to put the link from CDC in the chat. Why are you guys defending that obesity?
Well, I'll tell you why, Sarah.
See, she's a medical doctor, and she's the one. So
I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a doctor.
Sarah, it's backwards, though.
Correct. I'll put the CDC.
Right.
I mean, it's known for being highly correlated.
So the numbers that Pepe, the numbers that Pepe is using, okay, were numbers that were ushered in through the late 90s and the early 2000s to basically dismantle the arguments that people were having about food programs for illegal immigrants. Okay, that's literally the causation of why that data was harvested. It's political. We're not listening to science. We're not listening to science.
I work with patients with diabetes. I don't know, what are you trying to say here? It's
Sarah.
It's a PubMed. Pull it up. Do a search. Sarah, but Sarah's talking. Do you want to wait for Sarah to finish, Brian?
No, because I wanted to ask you a question. It goes both ways, that obesity causes diabetes and diabetes causes obesity?
Thank you.
No.
Okay, that's what Pepe was trying to say is diabetes cause obesity.
Yes, in some, and I gave you an example of that, and of course, I'm picking the population that has the highest diabetes rate in the world here in Arizona. Yes, almost all of them are obese, and it's highly genetic with them. They cannot. It's just not in their, unless they want to go on like a real like caveman diet.
Diabetes does not organically cause obesity. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Diabetes does not organically cause diabetes. Like what? Like diabetes is a causation stem from obesity.
Not
like,
always.
What the fuck are you talking
Not
about?
Always.
Oh, so a lack of blood sugar actually slows down your metabolism to becoming overweight?
No, from the pancreas. It's all about the pancreas.
What the fuck is happening?
With indigenous people surrounding nutrition has to do with food scarcity.
No, let's look at the alcohol numbers behind people. Let's look at the calorie numbers behind alcohol.
I'm talking about the reservation. I'm talking about the...
Yeah, no, we can do that too.
Oh my God, Adam, stop.
We can also talk about all the fatty Latino foods that were inserted into that indigenous population.
So I'm gonna pretend to be Roger here, and I'm gonna bring everybody down. So hold on a minute. Hold on. Royal, hold on. I want to hear what you have to say.
Kristen, you're not even a mod. Shut the fuck up.
Hold on a second. I did that on purpose. Hold on.
Hey guys.
Hold on.
No,
It's
we don't
definitely a mod.
Hang on. I want to hear what Royal has to say. So, Royal, I'm so sorry. Royal, can you please speak? And then let's just take time. I want to hear what other people have to say. So can we just not interrupt each other? I know we're getting really excited about it, but Royal, please go.
Yeah, my statement was just the fact that the fact that the health deteriorating in indigenous people in the United States alone. I don't mean outside of the border, so you cannot say migrants into this, right? Because they didn't go through the same things as indigenous people inside of the United States borders have went through. So the scarcity amongst indigenous populations has caused health issues that's went over generations now on. So that's all I wanted to say.
Look up where the Salt River Maricopa Pima Indian Reservation is. It's actually bordering Scottsdale. It's right. They have an abundance of food. In fact, they actually now have a lot of money because this is where the spring training facilities and casinos have been built here on their reservation on the border of Scottsdale. So they're doing very, very well.
Well, and God bless them.
But also
their land was taken
if
from
they're
them.
not eating the food that they were originally eating pre-colonization, it will cause issues in your genetics.
Yes, that was my whole point.
Okay, great.
Well, and to be honest, would you want them to eat the food that we have to eat as Americans right now?
No, it's going to cause more issues.
Exactly. Like, I will say that, yes, what happened, this land was originally theirs. We know that. But
who would have known?
No, but they have their own land that nobody would ever even step a toe in because they know what would happen. And they're thriving.
What
they're
would
happy.
happen?
They're happy and they're thriving. And we're dying because
Who's happy and thriving?
What do you mean, indigenous people?
Indigenous people, by and large, in the United States, are actually very poor.
Indigenous people? Are you talking about these fat fucking European colonizers, these Selena Mexicans?
Hold on.
Wait, why was Pepe moved?
So I moved him because I really need you to not interrupt.
No, Roger does not want people moved.
Hold on a second.
Let's not do that.
Hold on a second. I know. I just need it.
Guys, I don't know.
We need to stop.
No, hang on. Wait. Just mute up, everybody. Okay, great. Guys, I'm going to step in on behalf of Mojo/Roger. We don't go about kicking mods off the stage. It just doesn't work. I don't know who removed those two, but please don't do it. Okay, as much as I don't really have many nice things to be able to say about Pepe, look, can we just keep it just chilled out? Okay. If you want to mute each other, like talk over each other, just try and have.
Yeah, she was removed from the room. She was literally removed from the room.
No, hey, wait. Who was removed?
Kristen. Kristen was just removed from the room.
I didn't do.
Okay, can I just have a good faith show of hands? That's all.
I was gonna say, guys, Roland is an admin to this house, so his mod badge is worth more than any of us.
So we already
You're
know.
the boss.
We already know.
Everybody knows Roland. Everybody knows Roland.
No, that's cool. Look, I don't know who did it. Don't fucking do it, okay? Don't kick people out of the room, okay? If things are going crazy, fine, just talk it out, okay, if possible. There's a reason why some people have been moderated here, okay?
I was just going to say Royal, well, actually, I don't know who it was, but no, Native Americans actually can look this up. Statistically, most reservations are not within the proximity of a metropolitan area where they can have casinos and have a lot of money. They're actually pretty poor, and some of them, like the Navajo reservation in northern Arizona, a lot of these homes don't have plumbing. Like, they're not living their best lives, as you would say. It's actually pretty harsh.
Yeah, but Pepe, you would have to define what rich is and what poor is, because that would probably be defined different by.
Oh, Jesus Christ! These are people that realize they're poor.
No, what do you mean? No.
Yes, they do know they're poor.
Okay.
So people who choose to live where there's a
aware
plumbing,
of the issue.
that's the
I'm also
problem.
native. I'm also native. I'm aware of that issue, but no, that I didn't make that statement. I think that was the girl that got removed.
I mean, just because they don't have running water doesn't mean they don't have water. So I know there's a bunch of them that live in the canyon down there that don't have quote unquote running water, just a stream. So
I mean, it was kind of sucked.
A little dishonest.
COVID, because when they were, you had the stay-at-home orders, and can you imagine living in a house that doesn't have running water? You have to share it with people.
And having mail brought to you by a donkey on a majority, because that's how it's always been, because it's cheaper.
Oh, that is actually true.
You know what? I just do a Google search. Navajo running water. It's like
Pepe, I live down there. I know.
I know. I've been there.
Stuff.
I've been there many times. You live down there where?
Tucson and up in
Tucson?
Just south of Tucson.
No, where you said you lived on the Navajo reservation. Where on the Navajo reservation?
I didn't say I lived on the Navajo reservation.
Okay, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Most people not living on the reservation. I used to have to stay there for weeks at a time when I was a fucking kid. There's a reason I asked you, is because I wanted to see if you would name any of the fucking towns or cities, which you couldn't, because you don't have any experience there. So respectfully, like, if you don't know what the fuck you're saying, just shut the fuck up. It's not even funny.
I'm not kidding. I've been up in Flagstaff for months.
It's not the Navajo reservation. That's Coconino County.
Yes, because you can't live near something and never hear anything. Got it. I didn't say I was an expert.
You know, how dare you, Brian? You don't know shit. Just stay on mute.
That's okay. He doesn't eat steak anyhow, I can tell.
I don't eat steak. I don't know what you said.
You heard exactly what I said, so that's okay.
I'm just curious. Is that from the sound of my voice? You don't exactly have the deepest, most masculine voice yourself. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. Okay, guys, stop.
Collaborate and listen.
Look at that hitting bars. I see you up there.
No one was gonna finish it? Come on. Such a good.
Wrong one, man. They couldn't finish that.
At least you got it. Thank you for keeping up.
So, Ann, what did you want to talk about? Because you're so high IQ and shit. Like, what did you want to talk about that would be, like, cool and interesting for everybody else?
I didn't really have an idea.
Yeah, I know you didn't. You just wanted to change the conversation.
What do you?
But you had nothing to talk about.
What do you mean? We got a little laugh. Are you mad that we laughed? No laughing in here. Anyone that smiles, laughs, you're done. You're out of this room.
Sweet.
Gulag for laughing.
Yeah. Yep. Not even laughing emojis. Just hate.
I am a liberal says, I am back with the gringo rendition. I don't know what you're trying to say, but I'd love for you to explain.
Hey, I am liberal. Did you find the Hebrew Israelite room? The bed with the smoke? Did you make your way in there? I am liberal.
Look at I am liberal in the chat. Thank you. I am liberal. See? People are enjoying it, Pepe.
So Adams, how do you feel about this big beautiful bill? It's gonna add to our national debt, and and we're just like going ahead and just how Trump was just.
It's just tough. Sorry to interrupt. So I'm reading in the chat that 7 or 8 people have been moved down. Is that correct, Sarah?
Who?
7 or about that.
No,
7
no,
or 8
no, not
people
today, not today. I was talking to Matt. Because he said he doesn't like too many mods on the stage. I'm like, in his last room, he modded 5, 6 people at the same time. And then 6, 7, 8 people, they got removed from the room at the same time when he did it. It's not this room.
Yeah, okay.
I got you.
Mojo knows me. I don't. When he mods me, I don't.
It really doesn't take a rocket science to know like, who does it. And we've been on this app for 4 years all together. Like, we know who removed people from rooms. That's it. If you don't know, fuck out.
I like the controversy, so I don't.
But you know what, Pepe? I have low IQ, so who am I?
Well,
Pepe doesn't remove people, does he?
No, he does not.
Pepe was down in the goo when Kristen was removed. I invited Pepe up when I heard Adam at the same time saying,
yeah,
who removed you?
No one said.
I thought that was egregious that she moved me, like another moderator.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm eating some sun chips so I can get.
This is so interesting. I'm so glad we got to change the conversation to that.
What were we on?
So, and how do you feel?
Pepe, I'm really pissed at you two. You are on one. Get off me, bro.
Well, I'm just curious. No, the big beautiful bill. Hey, we're gonna
about that thing.
Another $4 trillion in debt. Winning. We're winning. We're making America great. And and what are we gonna do? We're going to when Trump was wearing his McDonald's uniform in the drive-thru, trying to look like a humble, everyday American driving a garbage truck, smiling for the photos. Yep, he's going to go ahead and take 17 million of you fuckers state Medicaid away, so you guys don't get any medicine or health care. And amazing. Kill more jobs in rural America. Amazing. But I guess his buddies that he likes to golf with and who run in the same circles as him, that are already wealthy, they're going to have some, more money in their accounts. So that's pretty good. Make America great again.
Well, I mean, if you actually read part of the bill.
I did read the fucking bill. That's the problem.
Okay, so when it came, no, you obviously did. Well, then you didn't retain it. The part about the SNAP benefits and the Medicaid. So you need to look that.
I did. They want to do the job. They want to make sure that you have to either be volunteering, working, doing whatever, 80 hours a week. The problem,
80 hours a week.
Or 80 hours, excuse me, a month. A month.
Yeah, thank you. So for the working people, or that you are seeking employment if you are not disabled. Yeah. So yes, what is wrong with that?
Sure. So I would say
there's nothing wrong with it. The way that you framed it.
Yeah, that's not a hard requirement. So there is something wrong with that, because anybody who's lived in rural areas, like I lived in Alaska, you live in some nowhere city or excuse me, not a city, village really. Getting employment can be pretty hard. Where are you going to volunteer? And what's the most pressing concern for the senators, Murkowski and Tillis, was that it was going to shutter the rural health care businesses. That's why these are the 2 Republican senators that held out. Now, the only concessions that were made is we'll give $50 billion to rural hospitals, which really isn't shit. And what's going to happen is, it'll help offset any lost money they don't get from Medicaid, because the patients are going to use services that they can't pay and that kind of stuff. But it still doesn't give the people that live there, their medications, their health coverage, doctor's appointments. And so basically these people are going to be shit out of luck, and it's going to end up hurting the hospital industry too.
I don't know how people that live in rural areas, that didn't come full circle for me. It's going to come, if they've always lived in rural areas, then they've always experienced like you having to drive an hour to the doctors or to get medication.
There's 300 hospitals due to close, and it may cause up to 300 extra people to die a year because of those hospitals being closed. So potentially, that's not even a fact because Medicare is being taken away. So that's where that's coming from. But it's the worst side of what could potentially happen that is getting publicized.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you?
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Okay, but it's not even saving money. How much money do you think illegal aliens are costing? What chunk of Medicaid do you think they're using?
I have no idea. I don't even.
It's under 0.5%.
It depends
So
on what state.
how would you? They're undocumented.
It depends on what state, but nationally.
They're undocumented. So how would you know?
Yeah, because we have to issue them to these undocumented immigrants. In order to receive Medicaid, you have to have
So we don't know.
be given
The Medicaid has nothing to do with illegals. Nothing.
Well, no, that was so Trump ran on the claim that we're not going to touch Medicare, we're not going to touch Medicaid. He fucking lied. He touched Medicaid.
He didn't say that.
Then he said, yes, he did. When he was running, he said it many times. And then when it comes to Medicaid, he said that it was, especially in Congress and in the Senate had to it was just a couple days ago, vote to remove quote-unquote illegals from Medicaid. What they don't realize is illegals cannot get a Medicaid health care plan.
Right, so what are we talking about?
What they can get is they basically, because states cannot refuse if someone presents themselves to an emergency room with symptoms, the emergency room cannot deny them treatment or care, and so they would be given a federally funded emergency coverage only at an ER.
And that would be for people that have come here and have claimed through a visa, a work visa, a student visa.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not.
You can't. Okay. So how does it make sense?
You can't get Medicaid. Those people can't get Medicaid.
They can get emergency stuff. That's the only way.
Emergency stuff. So emergency.
An urgent care. They could go to an urgent care.
No, emergency rooms. I used to work in this field.
They can go to an emergency room. And
I worked in this
not
field.
pay their bill.
So this is even over 20 years ago. When you would go into the ER, I was the guy that had you sign in the front desk, and then the triage nurse would assess you, and I'm the one who had to take in your fucking cards, your insurance cards and everything. Here we had access. That's our state Medicaid program. The illegals had a yellow access card, while all the other access cards are white. It just meant that it was going to be federally covered. Federal funds were going to cover that emergency room visit. They weren't going to cover any follow-ups because there wasn't going to be a follow-up. They only do the emergency medicine.
Okay, so what was it that the illegals and the big beautiful bill? How does that what?
Oh, because they're saying, oh no, we're just cutting fraud and abuse and which is a lot of it's illegals, which a lot of it wasn't illegals.
Then people didn't read it. That's just stupid.
I did read it. Marshall and I read it together in 2 different fucking rooms today.
What you literally just said was not in the bill at all.
What are you talking about?
What you literally just said was not in.
Yes, they removed federal funding for Medicaid, period. So now basically the hospitals, and the local hospitals, are going to have to eat the cost of the immigrants, the illegal immigrants that end up visiting the ER, and then of course that's going to get passed on to us. Fucking amazing. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. But
well, maybe they should do something about the illegals that are in there.
Yeah, they need to do. That's my whole fucking point. This is why I voted for Trump, is because you know what ultimately solves the problem: getting illegal immigrants out of the fucking country. And then they are not there to utilize your ER. Amazing, problem solved.
So maybe anytime USA should stop letting illegals run roughshod in their town or city, and then maybe they don't have to have that issue with the medical.
What the fuck you said, but
you're saying.
Oh my God, let me finish. But okay, so most of the waste and fraud and all of that shit doesn't even come from the people that utilize Medicaid. It comes from the fucking, it's primarily from from different providers. It's the people who end up, I guess, apply for Medicaid and lie and they get it. They're a super small minority. It's usually like fraudulent building and different schemes that end up wasting a lot of money, which I don't care. Go after those fuckers. But my whole thing is, why would you increase the deficit, the debt our country's going to go into, that future generations have to deal with, only to make it easier or better for, I don't know, the top, few percent of the country? In reality, the top, quarter of a percent? Like, why would you shit on the people who voted for you? It's just disgusting to me.
I just don't think you understand how economics works.
What do you mean how economics works? Do you really think that this $1 trillion...
it's $3 trillion. The bill's $3
I'm talking about just Medicaid.
Oh, I don't know. It's over a 10-year time span, too. We know.
Yeah. Well, no, but the thing is, though, is it's like, okay, I could understand if actual conservative did it, like Rand Paul or some, he would, probably cut a lot of shit off for people, but he would do it with the express interest of actually, lowering our deficit.
But how do you know people's intentions?
Oh, sure. Because Trump's not a fiscal conservative. He's literally increasing our debt, and yet at the same time chopping shit for the poorest and most vulnerable people in the community. I mean, that's just what he's doing. I'm not even saying it's his intention. That is what he's doing. See, I would shut the fuck up and not bitch if this was I don't know, who's that Mormon with the stick up his ass? Forget his Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney might have done some shit like this. They'd be like, yep, this is what conservatives do. But, Trump is just he's a fucking clown. He's a buffoon. He is. He's not a conservative. He never has been.
So then you voted for a clown?
Yeah, I did, because we were going to have a diversity hire that, was basically, there was no primary. You had a demented old man, and then she became the DEI hire, ended up becoming the front runner. And we saw what was happening under Biden.
A buffoon or a clown, I would not vote. If I literally thought that about someone.
Oh, no, but he was clearly the best option.
If I don't like either one, I just wouldn't vote.
No, I know, but if one is definitely a better option. See, Trump was a gamble for me. I knew that he's a piece of shit, but I was like, well, he's not going to do worse than fucking Biden, which he still hasn't, if I'm being fair. But Biden, I mean, yeah, I don't regret my vote, but I still think he's a fucking clown. What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do that's so great for our fucking country? Make us better again. We're gonna have the largest deportation in our country's history. He hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done shit. He's all fucking talk. He didn't make America great again the first fucking time. He's not doing it the second either.
And what's crazy, his deportation numbers is actually under Joe Biden's deportation numbers.
Well, to be fair, he did allow a lot less people to invade. So.
Oh, no, 100%. No, that's one thing I can't criticize. Even though the numbers were going down under Biden, Trump has definitely nipped that in the bud. That's the only thing he's done I have no problem with. But besides, the deportations, he haven't done that, and definitely haven't went after the people that came in under Biden. That's what the weirdest thing. He's not going after the people that came in under Biden. He's going after the people that have been here for decades.
That's, this should be a message, just like how, people like Trump, see, I don't play in black people's faces. I usually just insult you guys and tell you guys how I feel. And I generally mean it. don't have good opinions of you guys. But he'll play in your face. He'll sit there and tell you how, oh yeah, I got this thing called the Platinum Plan. Oh yeah, see, we all know you guys love bling and all that shit. And so he's got the Platinum Plan. It'll be the best thing ever. You guys are gonna love it. And then, you know, just like kind of, he played in your guys' face. Like, he's putting a bunch of black people off of Medicare, SNAP, all of that shit. He doesn't really give a fuck. He's never had those problems before. And he's doing the same thing to the white, you know, lower income people, which is obviously why I'm like kind of pissed off, because I saw how he played in their fucking face.
Really?
And now he's just fucking with them. Like, there's a difference between your white suburbanite, it lives in a metropolitan area like myself, and like poor white people that live in like rural areas. Like, this is gonna absolutely fuck them. Their lives are not that easy to begin with. But I don't know. Somehow you guys are just gonna be like, yay, MAGA! I'm gonna stick to my you know, I'm just gonna be so hyper partisan that I'm just not gonna, you know, I'm gonna say go MAGA no matter what, even with this orange fucking clown who was never a goddamn conservative his whole fucking life. He's probably gonna go out as one of the worst fucking presidents too, because he's a piece of shit.
Well, I'm sure that that's what the Democrats definitely would want that for him.
I'm being objective here. I wanted him to be the best president.
I just think it's too early. Like, we haven't seen it play out, and we know how, like, Pepe, you know how, like, when news breaks out, everyone goes panic mode and, like, freaks out. Like, we just need to, like, let it chill for a minute. Like, and try and understand, see where it goes. And you want to know what? In two years, I could say, Pepe, you know what? You play, like, have egg on my face. Fuck Trump. I could say that. But right now?
No, I've been sitting silent, you know, the last few months, just kind of saying, like, what is this fucking clown doing? And I see all of the, you know, the congressmen and women, more so the congressmen as opposed to the senators, but I just see, like, the MAGA trash, the filth in their fucking party. These are goddamn troglodytes that would have never been taken seriously, like, even 20, 30 years ago. I mean, like, where did we go? We had, like, it's mind-boggling. Just look at look at a lot of the quote-unquote MAGA people. Who is that slut from Colorado? The fuck is her name? Total whore. She was caught, like, you know, filling up on a dick in a movie theater. She had to get her GED right before she got, you know, elected.
Christina.
No. She's a good example of a fucking worthless bimbo too.
It's Lauren Boebert there.
Yeah, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like white trash, like fucking barely literate, like white trash. Is this the best we have? Is this who?
I mean,
is this who the white conservatives are sending? I mean, they're trash.
I don't know what's wrong with Christina. I think that she's a wonderful lady.
Oh, she's fucking retarded.
Oh.
Why does she look like a fucking porn star? Like, stupid bitch. With her, all of her fucking Botox and shit. Like, what serious woman in any position of power looks like her or dresses like her? And she's like the girl that is trying to win a popularity contest at a fucking high school. Like, it's just so retarded. This is what Trump has brought us to.
But I mean, is that what you're...
A television star. That's why he has fucking dipshits like Pete Hegseth. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
I think Moose was trying to say something. Are you there, Moose?
Well, is anybody going to say that Trump is higher IQ, that he has nothing but elite human capital as a part of his cabinet? That he has the intellectual elite?
I wouldn't say that about Biden either.
I mean, Dan Bongino, I think, is pretty respectable.
I mean, he graduated from Penn, Warren, an Ivy League school.
No, I'm asked about his cabinet.
I said Dan
Bongino. Dan Bongino's a fucking turd. Yeah, he could work his way up to be presidential detail on the Secret Service, which most people couldn't do.
Okay.
But that does not mean that he's somebody who should be running the goddamn FBI. That's a totally different thing.
What did he do under the Obama administration? Do you know what his position was?
I know he was in a managerial role in terms of like the actual close protection and the Secret Service detail for the first family.
When you look at all the things that he's done leading up to this point, he definitely has the credentials and qualifies for the position that he's in.
I don't even think he has a law degree.
What?
Yeah, but generally that's something you have as an FBI, somebody in charge of the FBI, for a very important reason.
Does anybody on stage disagree with what I said? Okay.
Well, I mean, does anybody agree? Watch this. Does anybody disagree with what she's saying? Oh shit, they were silent both times, just like I thought. Amazing.
But you said, does anyone disagree with what she's saying? And they're laughing.
Wouldn't it be as I proved the point that
you said, does anyone disagree with what she's saying? And no one responded because they don't disagree with what I said.
Yeah, but just like how you asked if anybody like disagreed with me, nobody said anything.
Yeah, when you don't quit talking, no one can say anything.
I didn't, Pepe. I asked them if anyone disagreed with me.
Okay, does anybody disagree with me? But Dan Bongino, should he?
What we disagreeing or agreeing about? I missed it.
Should Dan Bongino really be the person that runs the fucking FBI?
He doesn't run the FBI.
Yeah, he doesn't. And Hakima said, leading up to like knowing what he's done, leading up to this point, that he is.
Or not the FBI. Excuse me. What the fuck does he run? It's the.
You
don't even know what you agree with, Pepe.
He doesn't run anything. He works for the FBI.
Works for the FBI. I know Kash Patel was the guy that.
He's the FBI director.
I mean, Kash Patel. I mean, he's at least an attorney. He's somebody who knows the law. I mean, you really don't think it's important to be an attorney, really, and to lead like that kind of organization?
Not necessarily, no.
I mean, you don't think you need to have like probably experience as a prosecutor and also like an agent?
Like I said, like if you look at Dan Bongino's credentials, he's qualified for the position.
Amazing. So he's good at protecting people.
He's qualified.
That doesn't just because you're good at being like a bodyguard doesn't make you qualified to run like the. Yeah.
Oh.
Like I don't even dislike the guy.
And it's really disrespectful knowing.
It's not disrespectful. That's literally what he was.
Like what he's done, he's put his life on the line for. I mean.
Isn't that what bodyguards do?
Okay.
What do you? What is a Secret Service agent?
He didn't serve in our military. He didn't run our military. Train our people that are joining into the army, the military. He didn't train them. He didn't serve.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about his federal law enforcement career.
He wasn't boots on the ground in the war.
I'm talking about his federal law enforcement career.
Law enforcement. What does it have to do with the positions he's in?
Well, FBI law enforcement, Secret Service is law enforcement. I mean, do you think that being like a Navy SEAL, for example, a commando, would mean that you'd automatically be a good detective? I mean, yeah, they're both like... It's hard to get onto the FBI. It's very hard to become a Navy SEAL. But are they necessarily the same skill set? I mean, not really.
everybody quiet or is me?
Your internet's out.
Hey Pepe, you went to boxing. Do you see they have to Chavez Junior son or Chavez son?
Yeah, I saw. I just kind of like just stopped watching it. Just I don't know why. But I know I saw the highlights.
No, not the fight. What happened afterwards?
Oh yeah, he got arrested. Yeah.
He got deported.
Well, he's actually wanted. This is the weird thing, though. He's wanted by Mexico, and so our we have the ERO officers with ICE, and they do prioritize people that are wanted in foreign countries for other crimes. He's wanted in Mexico for weapons trafficking and being involved with the cartel. And so they arrested him in order to deport him to Mexico into the custody of Mexican law enforcement. Which is pretty standard. He's just like a high-profile person. And by the way, that he was a quote-unquote champion. Look up Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus the fuck was his name? Sergio Martinez from Argentina. He basically the WBO, the Mexican boxing organization, out of nowhere pulled Sergio Martinez's belt and said he had to fight for it. And he had to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Everybody who saw that fight believes Sergio Martinez won. But Julio Cesar Chavez these corrupt judges gave him the belt. Then a rematch, Sergio beat the shit out of him. But, it's just, to even say that guy was a former champion is fucking insulting. He's a piece of shit. Basically, his dad was the best, because he's a junior. His dad, Julio Cesar Chavez, was the best Mexican boxer of all time. He would have actually beat Floyd Mayweather's record. He got up to just about 90 fights, 90-0.
But he definitely lost a couple fights in there. He definitely lost a fight that they had some favorable opinions. Particularly one against the guy who knocked him down and he stopped the fight before he got saved by the bell, but really he was knocked the fuck out. I definitely follow boxing. I definitely know it's dead.
But Jake Paul, the fuck is his name? BJ Flores is his coach, or at least was. But like even up to a few years ago, I was sparring some of BJ Flores' pro boxers, and so, I know BJ. He's a pretty cool guy, but he's a really good coach. But I'll say this: he's a good boxer. I mean you could tell he's a natural athlete, and he's been spending years just training doing this. He's pretty good, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was paid to lose.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's no other word.
But I don't.
Should have beat him.
It's hard to say. I mean, I don't think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was that good of a boxer to begin with. So.
I agree with that.
He's
I feel like
really good.
He should have been a beat dude, but then again, he probably wasn't. He's not nowhere near dedicated to training and all that shit that Jake Paul is. So you never know.
I mean, Jake Paul, the one thing he's had consistently for years is that. So like in boxing, if you're like, let's say a kid who goes to a boxing club, like when I did it, everybody's competing for the coach's time. The coaches generally are going to have to spend. They need to spend more time with the kids that are really good. Once you go pro, you generally going to have to pay for a coach. Once you're a pro that can at least like fight, you're going to fight for a title. Part of the cut will be the coaches, and so you'll get a lot of time with the coach. He's somebody who's been able to have access to really good coaches for years straight on end and receive a lot of training, which is like very few people are able to do. And I think he's a natural athlete, so he's not bad. Sarah, I haven't fought. I'm in my 40s, and I was still sparring. I wasn't competing at that point up until like a few months before the pandemic. And then, I don't know, I probably should stop. Like, to me, it's like there's nothing left in it for me. So.
What does that mean, nothing left in it for me?
Dude, I'm way past the age.
He's 40 years old. He's not finna win a belt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna win any.
All he's gonna do is get himself killed or some shit. Like if you try to go.
Like you're just gonna get the end. Like I have like teeth.
I'm just kidding.
Like I have teeth that have been knocked out. I have like fucking. A lot of people don't realize it's like kind of like hockey, I guess. Like.
So
that's like with the mouth guard. Yeah, but like with the mouth
that.
guard and gloves and everything, it's still, and then just like the injuries, if you don't get over them as easily as when you're younger, and your reaction time isn't the same. It's like why do it? It's fun. I still think it's fun. Like I love sparring and fighting and all that shit, but it's just it's time to grow up.
Yeah, the injuries of fighters is one of the worst injuries in all the sports.
It's different, like MMA.
I'm a chiropractor. I did internship when I was in school. I did internship at a UFC clinic. Of course, I can't name people that I saw, but I saw some really, really big fighters. And after every fight, anybody who came in, they were like beaten up. I honestly was like, they need to ban fighting. This is not a sport. This is terrible.
Well, I mix it like MMA fighters would always come into, and I know some like UFC fighters in real life that would come into the boxing gyms. Some of them were pretty good at it, but it's like UFC is like a much bloodier. You're far more likely to get injured because the amount of points of contact that you have. But like in the UFC, they've never had a fighter die, but in boxing it happens. The thing about boxing, what kind of makes it dangerous, is that the amount of repetitive shots to the head, and often, especially if you're a pro fighter, you're that's like fighting for a belt, you generally have a pretty good chin, which means your brain will continue to bounce back and forth in between your skull as you get hit. But people die at fights. They have a lot of really fucked up brain damage. But it doesn't look that violent while you see it happening. But that's what ends up killing people. Like a broken leg looks really fucking gnarly. But you don't get those kinds of injuries in boxing. And it generally doesn't kill you. Paul, you're right. George Foreman was over 50 years old. In boxing, there's like a pretty specific rule. The lighter the weight class, the earlier you retire. The heavier, the later. Heavyweights can have careers that go into their 50s. Like a bantamweight or flyweight, they're going. Generally, they end up retiring by their mid-20s. They rely on so heavily on speed and reaction time. I mean, obviously their skill is all there, But the best boxers, pound for pound, most people would argue, are those lighter weight fighters. They're the most technical. They're really fun to watch, but they don't have to rely on they don't really have the ability to rely on the knockout power that heavyweights do. So, yeah, heavyweight, I'm nowhere near heavyweight.
And George Foreman was an anomaly, though. Like, there's no...
Oh, he's a big motherfucker.
There's no two... And he never took a lot of punishment, and he quit early for his reasons and came back. So, like, there's a reason why he was able to succeed at that old age. That's not normal.
He was a heavy-handed giant, and everybody knew this about him. Like, for those that don't know, like, a heavy-handed person is somebody, like, if you go to a crowded or popular boxing gym or club, maybe like once every few years you get a quote-unquote heavy-handed person. It's somebody who's like 140 pounds. It's not, you can punch hard because you have really good technique, and you're just like, you have this explosiveness, like, in terms of speed. But then there's the people that have this, it's kind of like, no matter which punch they throw, they don't even really use that much in the way of, like, speed. It feels like you're being clubbed by somebody who weighs like 190 pounds, but they're 140. Those are rare people. I was not one of those people. But George Foreman was a notorious heavyweight that was like heavy-handed. And
I identify as a man. If you ask me to identify my pronoun.
Nobody wanted to be punched.
And when the nigga called me a man whore, a launch pad calling Papa, I did this to be sexual harassment and creating a hostile. That's the issues.
That fucker had power. It could take a punch also. You didn't get hit with too many people, but Foreman was something different.
George Foreman was such a nice guy. He was one of the few that, like, made it out without much in the way of brain damage. At least that I can tell. The heavyweights, they're also the ones that have the we call it punch drunk, like when you after your career where you're just like you have so much brain damage, you slur, you had a lot of memory problems, but it flicks like heavyweights a lot more, but I don't really see it with him, which is good. Muhammad Ali was probably the worst example. He's like the perfect example of somebody who had a really good chin, which it like helped him in boxing, but like later in life it obviously took a toll on him.
Honestly, I kind of go with the conspiracy theory that he was probably drugged to stay in his hands. Because, like, he was...
I know people that know him personally.
But there are people that took way more punishment than him. Like we don't see what Muhammad Ali, what happened to him after his career, we don't see that in other boxers that took way more punishment than him. Although he did, I mean, he
for a
had a lot of fights,
heavyweight, but he was a heavyweight, and so...
Right,
what people don't realize is, yeah, there's boxers who take more punishment, but not. But heavyweights are a whole different story.
Heavyweights that took more punishment than him.
Sure, but
Mike Tyson took more punishment than him. He's not walking around. He's not a bumbling fool to walk around here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I know people that knew him. Like he actually passed away here in Scottsdale. He was living here. The problem is that, like, when it comes to like severe CTE and that kind of stuff, is that like you see it with football players, and it's not a popular sport here, but like you have people who play rugby, and I was talking to a couple of friends from France, and they're saying basically, like, I guess with rugby they now have like how the people who can run the 40-yard 100 meters in like 10 seconds that are in the NFL, but they're like 240 pounds. Like you basically have that equivalent in rugby, but like these fuckers, I don't even think wear helmets. And you know they die during games. But when it comes to these, so like the difference between like if you look at like a person who's like 6'5" and a person who's 5'8", their brains are still this like roughly the same size. So are their hearts, their liver, their kidneys. When you have to imagine like that 5'4" bantamweight who gets hit in the head a lot versus like that brain getting punched by somebody who's like literally twice their weight. And yeah, like being big and strong means your head's gonna not move as much when you're a heavyweight.
I get what you're saying, but like where is the other Muhammad Ali though? Like any division, like he was one of the greatest, so he's like he just got his ass whooped into that state. So like where if that happens?
Oh, I know somebody that's just like him. I know somebody just like him.
I'm just saying, right? I'm pretty sure there's one or two. I'm saying, but there should be a whole slew of them.
Okay,
like it's one or two. Like we should see that in professional boxing. Like we should see that from a lot of the greats. We don't see that.
From the greats, I'm trying to think. Obed Sullivan is somebody I knew personally. He's okay, I'm not gonna box him. But he basically he's a professional boxer that honestly his memory is so fucked up he wouldn't be able to. But he fought. I think he fought at least one title fight against the fuck do you call those two Russian brothers? I forget which one it was.
Klitschko, Vladimir, and
yeah, Klitschko. Yeah. And he lost, but he's somebody. He's like he's a gentle giant, the biggest motherfucker ever. And he's held pads for me and shit before, and like literally, it's weird because when you do mid work with somebody, there's a little bit of give, but like he'll literally hold the mid out, and then it's just like my whole fucking arm stings because it's like punching a fucking brick wall. And he's just like barely holding his arm out. But no, he's somebody who has severe, and I mean severe, memory issues. He doesn't lose his shit. He's a gentle giant. But he's, yeah, dude, his memory is like super fucked up.
I'm not taking away from anyone. I know it exists, but like for me to believe that Ali got done like that because of boxing, I think we should see way more people like in that position. Like not just
you also have to understand though, like back then, boxing used to be a lot different. Now, people pad up their record, and they dodge fights. Back when Ali was around, or pretty much any boxer, that wasn't really a thing. It's just like, oh, this is going to be an exciting fight. Oh yeah, fuck your record. You're gonna, basically your promoter is going to have you fight, the whoever it was that you needed to fight, either to win the belt or defend your belt. The politics in boxing was a lot different. I mean, did you see when Smoking Joe Frazier he threw a left hook, and he literally just he actually went airborne. And Smoking Joe, he was a bit bigger, more powerful person. I remember just like watching that. I've seen it more than once, and just like flinching, just like holy shit. Like that was the first time most people will say they saw Muhammad Ali look stunned. But the fact that he wasn't knocked completely the fuck out and only looked a little bit stunned, to me that was crazy. Like, the human brain is not meant to tolerate that kind of shit. The average male, even of his size, they would have been fucking in a coma. And he was a really smart guy. You remember him when he was younger, right? He was very funny, very intelligent, extremely quick-witted. Like, this guy seemed like he could have, like, with his brain, if he didn't do boxing, he could have been, you know, a very successful guy in many other endeavors. He was a very sharp individual.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I think we should, like, I still understand. I think we should see a lot more people fucked up. I don't know.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Just look up.
Maybe it's conspiracy theory in me.
Just look up boxers. Just look up boxers and CTE. You're gonna see there's so many examples, dude. And a lot of these people that are when they get with these boxers when they get older, they end up having to have like a forced payee. They handle their money. They have to have like somebody who takes over their medical decisions. All kinds of shit. And the people who end up suffering from this the most are the people with the strongest chins.
That makes sense.
It's great for boxing, but you know, the fact that you don't get knocked out and can keep on letting your brain get rattled is like it's not good, like at least long term.
Yeah, that's why like I'm a Mayweather fan as a boxer, not as a real human, but as a boxer I like him. I love him as a boxer. Like people criticize him like, why you won't stand there and slug? Like you got me fucking.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. He has
like if I can avoid getting hit, I'm gonna fucking avoid getting hit. What the fuck are you? I'm not trying to impress you by taking punches. I'm sorry.
No, he's like he had it. He some people say he has like one of the highest like ring EQs.
Yeah, he's literally Michael Jordan in the boxing ring. Like literally that.
Yeah, he's somebody who, like, have you ever seen the fuck is his name? Andre Berto? Like him describing what it was like fighting George what the fuck is his name? I didn't say George Floyd. Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd gave him the opportunity. He knew Berto was way ahead. Berto never had a chance.
But he said he was like sitting there, he like at the ringside, and then like all of a sudden he sees like he hit like Floyd is like peeking at him, and he's like he can tell that he's just like trying to see what is this. Does it look like his heart rate is up? How's he breathing? What is he doing? And just like how he was so meticulous about everything, the timing and everything. But he's somebody who is, I mean, when he came into the welterweight division, of course he's already a gold medal Olympian. He comes in, it was stacked with talent. Like the middleweight division might have been the best at the time that he started. You know, throughout history, and he could not dodge a fight. He had to fight the best of the best, and he was able to do it. And you know, it's one thing just to say that his defense, the fact that he could avoid taking punishment from the best fighters at perhaps the best point in time for talent in the, you know, for welterweights, it's mind-boggling. Like he's like so different.
You know what the difference is that I can put my finger on that most people don't realize that he was a true
Hello, moderator. This is Congressman. I'd like to interrupt your boring room and read a poem related to the title of the room.
Really walk around like 170. Yes. And then when he sat down and they walked, he literally walked around at 147. That was his weight. So like he did like usually for 147.
So Stefan, I'm not
Excellent. Ooh.
Okay, and who is your higher power? I'm pretty sure it's God, but I could be wrong. Interesting. Okay. So Congress, do you want to recite your poem?
Yes, it's called Walking Out of the Treasury Building. Please, be an optimist. Just be an optimist. Your name is Optimist. Be optimistic. Lord, the air smells good today, straight from the mysteries within the inner courts of God. A grace like new clothes thrown. Oh, you kicked me.
So, I think we're back to see that.
Everybody pregnant.
It's really cool. I'm jealous. It's really cool and look at it. This season.
Oh, what type of greasy ass back you got? These bitches are sticky. Acknowledgement. Your boy Susan Chavez. Your boy Susan Chavez Jr. is up in fucking DHS right now.
Shit, everything I used to get on record used to be first.
Hello, you beautiful black queens. Happy 4th of July. I'd like to read a poem for you.
Let that man read that poem. Go ahead, sir.
Kidding me.
Only ones I fuck with that I fuck with is Mr. Bad and Keep the Sleep.
Visible on YouTube, visible.
I could just call it poetry.
He is charming. He is able to convince people. So he tells everybody what they want to hear.
So how do you know this?
That's what's a shame. He has a sense of humor. It can be funny. His ability, he is charming.
Hamburger University with Ronald McDonald.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Ronald.
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't. I was like, look, okay, I was like, you know what?
Okay, so no, I'm not about what you said. Now I'm trying to do this. I think that's very contest, which you will lose if you want to do that. But like, when I digress.
Jared, when I entered the room, you were talking about depopulation.
But yeah, I made a really good connection, and a lot of people left because you know why? When you speak the truth, people leave. They don't want to. They don't really want. You know what it is, man? This is a game. The whole world is a fucking game. I don't know who's making us play this tune, but whoever it is fucking powerful as fuck. Okay?
I mean, JR,
So
if life is a game, you might as well learn the rules, right?
yeah. So you are one of the soldiers of the game, right? Like who support the rules of the game.
JR, you have no choice but to play the game, right?
Rule number one. What's rule number one of the game?
See, I think JR's problem is that he doesn't know the rules, which is why he's unable to play the game.
No way, just shut up and play the Matrix. And I'm not
Matrix.
Yeah, look, you don't get the reference. You must be very stupid. You probably never watched the fucking movie.
Nobody's ever said
You guys, like, let me ask you guys a question. A lot of you are of Indian ethnicity. Which country is easier to be a poor person out of? Not to romanticize poverty, but do you think life is harder as a poor person in the U.S. or maybe in India?
I mean, like, are you making the comparison between like relative and absolute poverty? Is that what you're doing?
On relative, yes, I would imagine. Let's say you're languishing in the bottom 10 percentile in the U.S. and in India. Especially to those, everybody's welcome to respond to it, but generally speaking, especially to those of Indian ethnicity who had a chance to travel to India and look at the poverty themselves, and in the US indeed. Which country do you think is harsher on the poor?
Well, it's probably America because like you have a higher likelihood of getting shot, stabbed, mugged. You know, you get bullied on your way to school. Your children get bullied on the way to school, and like. I disagree. It's probably India, man. Come on, have you seen
on the way to school though.
Have you seen like the Indian guy in under the bridge? Have you seen the Indian guy under the bridge who's like begging when you cross the light? I've seen all those, man. I've seen a lot of poor people in India, and it's really horrible, bro. And it's not the poor people in America are like they have a luxurious life. I mean, their life is better.
The U.S. has a higher standard, like a higher standard of poverty. So, like, I don't understand, like, how.
There are many poor people in U.S., bro. Like, it's like they all have.
Like comparatively, sure, but like, if you make under like 30,000, you're poor. But like, what is that standard in India? Like. We have a system. We have a system here called projects, and everyone has a house. And if you make a little bit under, you can literally get a house in Midtown Manhattan. I understand that. I understand that. We're agreeing, JR. I know that you can't understand that, but like, I'm saying, like, what is that in India? Does the government take care of poor people in India, or?
Yeah, you know what? It's a good question. So the first part of it is $30,000, right? Because you pretty much would be in the upper middle class cadre, maybe middle class cadre northwards these days. If you make $30,000, that is. There's also a case to be made. That's in India, FYI. So there's also a case to be made for purchasing power parity, because as you know, a dollar would travel way further in India than it would in the US. So you can make $30,000 in the US, and you could still be objectively poor by US standards, and that's true.
Because right from housing to the neighborhoods, it begins to take a toll very, very quickly. In India, you have to make less than $2,000 a year in order to hit that threshold. And so I would say, for example, Chicago, a city that I've been to on many occasions, it's so bitter cold there that if you're poor, bro, there's no way in hell you're making out of that. We're talking minus 20 degrees Celsius in India, and it's easier in India because, not because the government doesn't have a program like you do in the US, to answer your question, Barack. You're right about that. But in India, it's easier to have a community-oriented approach. It's easier to end up with food. Somebody will look after you. And I get the impression, I've been to your country 10 times now, 10 times maybe, maybe 10, 11. And I get the impression that while all the facilities are certainly there, government program articulation is certainly there, no question about it, but I get the impression that just the life as a poor person, especially when you're far removed from the family, which is something unfortunately because of geographical reasons that the US has succumbed to, I'd say that it's particularly harsher, because there's virtually nobody to have your back. That's not the case in India. You usually roll with the community.
I appreciate the answer.
Thank you. But just to be clear, right, the US has many big aspects to it, as you would know, and I find cynicism by Americans about America, I've been saying this on Clubhouse for a while, I find that to be unreasonable, because it's got beautiful things going for itself that would be pretty rare, pretty exceptional to replicate anywhere else in the world. I think it's got beautiful. American society has such beautiful aspects to it. It's actually mind-boggling. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but it wasn't built in a day. Just like, bro.
Yeah, but what do you mean, like, beautiful aspects? Can you shine some light on that?
Interdisciplinary collaboration at the top of the prism is unprecedented. What you got going for yourselves in the US is something that's very hard to replicate even in China or in India. Even if India zooms ahead in terms of GDP numbers, for example, and this is a pedestrian example, but perhaps something that all of us can empathize with. You look at Apple, it's not just a piece of code. It's also a work of art. And, you get a whole bunch of different disciplines that come together and do something creative. And I think that's beautiful. It's very unique to the US experience. Very, very unique. Very hard to replicate that. In terms of social norms, and the Americans can really surprise you. Really surprise you. So I've been to Cody, Flagstaff. Even Americans don't go to places, some of the places I've been to, the average American. There's nothing wrong with that. The sense of community in the town, the sense of pride, taking pride in who you are, work ethic, just, what you would refer to as the Protestant work ethic, I believe. It's something that's so beautiful. Even if you're flipping burgers, you're cleaning the wheels in a car wash, just the sense of young people taking pride in what they do, aspiring to do a good enough job, getting offended if they don't get tipped well, because in their conception they've put in their heart and soul into that, into serving the customer. These are beautiful things about America. Very hard to replicate, that kind of commitment to work. It's beautiful.
But like, are you like talking about your romanticized idealism of what is America, or like what is actually the ground reality?
I mean, sure, I'm looking at it from the outside in, so I'd have even lesser understanding than you guys because you're anchored out of the US. But I wouldn't call it romantic because I've been around the block for a while now. My first trip to the US was 1991, and I've been to about 50 cities in the US ever since, maybe more. And I've touched stone with American society, done business with them, lived with them for a brief period, of course, but in and out all the time. And I don't think it's romanticized. I don't think it's idealistic. I think it's tempered by some degree of reality, which could have been corroded and chipped away, no question. But I think it's equally there right now.
I agree with Pearl on this point, the American society. Yeah, the way you said it, I can't say it the same way, but the way you said it, there's a good cohesion. People do take pride in their work, and part of it is by design, a lot of it is by culture, American culture. And I think these are really good points and really good values. So why this happened, there's many reasons. I can go into it. I don't want to because last time I spoke, people left the room like it was 1999 or something like that.
The thing is, it's an off-balance sheet item, so it would not lend itself to critical scrutiny, taking a position one way or the other, because it's entirely something that you and I will have to experience and observe. But it doesn't translate onto a map. It doesn't. You can't have data points and connect it to prove this. But it's equally real.
I would argue against that, bro. I'll tell you why. I say this. Okay. So in American society, American society is a relatively new country compared to the rest of the world. 250 years old. There's a lot that has happened in America. In most of America, it's been balanced between banks having too much power versus the people having power, and now how people integrated coming into America through Europe and everything that happened in America, the Civil War, etc. Now, after World War II, you have to understand half of the Nazis from Germany came to America, the other half, so to speak, went to Russia. And the Germans at that time, they were very learned scientists, at least from those standards, and they made a social experiment in America. Burger joints came out everywhere. Now, I don't agree with the beef eating, and don't get me wrong, people in India eat beef too, but they did make a social experiment out of America and that, and the financial industry in America has a strong hold on how people live their lives. And there was a community sense in America, especially after the war, that people can work and earn a living for their families and their lives, especially in Michigan. Henry Ford made great progress in Michigan to bring a 5-day work week. You have to understand, in America a long time ago, people have worked extremely hard in America. The reason why America is rich today is because people work extremely hard. That brings out a lot of fruits. Historically, they've worked extremely hard.
But I'm not sure where the disagreement might be between you and I. We both agree on this.
We both agree on this, but my disagreement is this. You said, it won't be replicated in India. It can be replicated in India. It will need some, in a sense, if it needs to be replicated in India, it will need some big ground-shaking moment, just like World War II was a big ground-shaking moment for the entire world, especially for America. So,
just to be clear, right?
Some really learned scientists, and remember that the Yajurveda was taken to Germany, right? Karl Marx or whatever his name was, he disintegrated it and really, did a lot of horrific things in his translation, so to speak. But the principles of the Yajurveda is how to rule. So that's important.
Look, I was. Go ahead, say please.
I was just trying to say hi, introduce myself, because no one said hi to me.
Oh, hi, Steve. Sorry, I just noticed you. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Top of the world, thank you.
Aww, you're cute.
So we're just trying to speak about the U.S. and what makes it distinct, and I guess Abhaya and I are right now into it. Please feel free to, weigh in whenever you think it's relevant. So you have something to say.
The U.S. is so great because I live there.
But isn't that technically correct? Like, if you live there, you should be like, I live here.
I just think that my presence and, like, me, my body, my head, my brain, my heart, and everything, because it's inside the U.S., it just makes it a better place.
You don't have any body odor?
No, I smell like roses.
Is it because your diet is halal?
I mean, it's 50-50.
All right, so to your point, Abhaya, what I was trying to say was not that it's. When I said it's not replicable, I didn't literally mean that. I'm just saying that it's hard enough to replicate.
Plural, you sound like you're a politician.
Plural, what do you think about the big, beautiful bill passing and adding trillions of dollars to the U.S. debt?
I wouldn't know at the moment. I'm waiting for the draft, and I don't know much about the big, beautiful bill, to be honest. Why don't you tell us more about that, Congressman?
Plural, where are you from?
See, I'm from India.
Okay. Do you live in India?
Yes, I do.
Are you a Trump lover?
Guys, I gotta go.
The Great Escape is a great part of America.
That was horrible.
Upstate New York, there's a state park
Wait, so, Z, quiet. So, I just want to say,
Don't say quiet to me ever again.
look, I'm an alpha male here, I can say,
Alpha
like,
male my ass, kiss me.
and I'm advocates, like
What's that, dude?
devotee of advocate. Shut the fuck up. Alright, quiet everyone. You know, literally kissed your ass, Z, so. Z, look.
I just want to say one thing, okay,
Z,
listen,
you
guys.
have a long neck, but I don't think that's for you, to be honest with you.
Long everything, now shut it.
Yeah,
I
really?
just want to say.
Oh, fuck. No, I don't want that. I don't want that, look. That would be disgusting, bro.
Listen, I just want to say, because it's like July 4th, you guys need to respect. That's it.
What?
It's the 4th of July. Okay, no distance. The USA of America.
You're Middle Eastern. I can sense it from here. Like you profile pictures.
Wallahi, habibi, I am not Middle
There you go. I can sense it. I can sense the hummus. Who is coming out of this clubhouse app?
Hummus and tabbouleh.
Probably. Yeah. What do you want?
I'm a brown girl. Okay, I'm not.
You're a brown girl,
I'm
but
brown
how come you look
from
like a
head to toe.
blonde? How come you look like a blonde girl? Like, what's going on here? Like,
The top of the
are you a wannabe a blondie, right? You want
top of the head is blonde, everything else is brown.
JR, Pakistani girls.
Even the other parts are brown?
That's what I'm gonna say, dummy.
They have pink left here.
Is it because of the tan or is it because of you naturally brown?
Naturally brown, you dummy. I just said I'm a brown girl.
So how come your face is not brown? I mean, I don't get it. Like, how come that's,
What do you want to see? You want to see the brown parts? Sure.
Okay, alright. This is not a that type of room. But we can take it offline. But look, let's just look. Here's a question, right? I think what Abaya was saying was really cool, and it was also plural, right? The American culture is amazing, in my opinion. The work culture is good, in my opinion, and I wish they could replicate that across the board, around the world, right?
Bro, where are you? You in the Middle East?
Yeah, Habibi, I'm in Dubai right now, flipping some peppers. So, wait, why is that a problem if I'm from Dubai? Like, is that, I cannot speak or?
No, I honestly did not say that was a problem. I love that even more.
Really? Why? Because you think I'm Muslim, right? That's why.
I do it all.
Can you behave yourselves with lady with us?
Exactly, thank you. Thank you so much, Ants.
Ants, I don't know what you just said. It sounded like
Ants is high off drugs or something.
Please don't scroll. I'm just
learned how I got quality
Alligator Island. Do you know the Victor Orban
Are you fucking AI? Like, why are you talking like that?
No, it is my real voice. Yeah, I'm talking all my life.
Why do you sound like a robot? Why are you trying so hard?
No, I'm German. It's my ugly German English voice. Yeah, and I have a deep
Oh,
voice.
shit. I'm sorry. That's sad.
No, don't be sorry. I'm proud of this. I don't need a microphone.
Wait, Ants, I have a question. What do you think about America? Like, what do you think about NATO and all the whole thing that happened, like when the Trump came to your place?
Sir, may I directly get back to the topic? So I confess, Alligator Island. There is no island around Hungary. Yeah, you must.
Happy 4th of July, El Normo!
Victor Orban has guard pigs. Yeah, pigs. Yeah, so they're running around. Yeah, instead of dogs, they have pigs. Yeah, so that is shielding some folks away. I'm not kidding. It's reality.
Yeah, it's, okay, yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, look, here's the thing, man. Everyone, in my opinion, every time you speak the truth, a lot of people leave. And that's the world we live in. People are just following money, short term.
Can I go? Can I leave this?
No, you don't have to, but you can continue. But all I want to say is, this is how the world works, man. This is how it's. People are just.
JR, there's nothing new under the sun, though.
People are just short term, to be honest with you, and it's easy to game them.
It's always been the same game.
Yeah, it has always been. This is called Kali Yuga. Kali is very smart, and that will change at some point. But if hang on. But if the golden age has to start now, and it's going to be there for 10,000 years, something will happen. And I guarantee you,
the now is all there is. The now is all important. It's not going to change.
The UFOs are coming, man.
No, that's just another word for the now.
They are scared of UFOs, bro.
Nobody's scared. It's all fake, bro. It's all military-industrial complex doing scams so they can keep spending money.
It's not fake. When you have that ships, bigger ships.
Yeah, it's people in the Navy doing. It's people in the Navy doing fake shit.
You will shut up.
I could send you the article. The government just admitted like a couple weeks ago that they're involved in putting out fake news and disinformation with regards to UFOs.
Yo, people, I'm pretty sure they're scared of the UFO, with the whole UFO.
Nobody's scared of it, though. People are scared of the government.
The government is not in power, man.
Really? You don't pay your property taxes? You don't pay your income taxes?
Wait, hang on, just quiet. I'm talking to an official here. This guy works for the government, I know for a fact. But, look, this shit is real. They're coming, and they are super intelligent. And the thing is, you can't fuck with them. And when they come, they will change the trajectory of the world, because that is their duty. And yeah, there's nothing anyone can do, my friend. You may sit here and yell all you want to.
Yeah, what's the trajectory of humanity? Oh, enlighten us, dear Guru Sage JR.
I'm not saying this, but it's happened many times, and it will happen again. So, it's not a challenge to one person or the other, or one country or the other.
JR, haven't you heard of the expression, there's nothing new under the sun? I mean, what are you proposing? Nothing new is coming. It's already happened, and it's already happening. There's nothing new.
Okay, so, what are you saying? I don't understand.
I'm saying life is like a salad.
Or who else is in control?
I'm saying we're all individually in control, but the less control we have, the less control our government has. I mean, you have to view it from the perspective that we, the people, are the government, and that will correct a lot of the difficulties and friction in society.
Huh. Yeah, you're fucking dreaming, man.
You're the one dreaming. You're the one talking about UFOs.
No, I don't think you. So then, how come we're not able to solve every problem on the planet?
You know, half of the people in this room right now got shit in the crack of their ass because they don't use baby wipes after they take a dump. So I don't know what to tell you.
just bailed suddenly.
Jerry, you
So, pardon me, Abaya? Okay, cool, yeah. So, the big beautiful bill, this is where I jumped off, right? Congressman, can I ask, what's your take on this and what's your understanding of it, if that's okay?
I just asked Grok what are the 10 largest line items in the bill, because I don't think anybody knows what's in it still.
Yeah, I was waiting for the draft to emerge as well, personally. But from what I know, so my position on the big beautiful bill is might be a little different in the sense that I believe in the free market. Not unabated, there's got to be some government, regulation, no question. But generally speaking, my leader would point more towards the free market. And generally speaking, I think regulations in the US have distorted the capacity of US businesses to participate in the free market. If you assume that the world is a marketplace, if you will, then the free market would suggest that, the principles of free market would suggest that everybody gets a level playing field. And while US businesses, on relative terms, enjoy the upsides of an unlevel playing field, but the smaller businesses in the US unfortunately have to face the wrath of the downsides of the level playing field. So US businesses can't drill, bureaucracy slows down decision making when you compete with Japan and China and whatnot, now apparently India. I think this kind of a shackled approach that the American people have been subject to because of over-regulation is a problem, and it distorts the capacity of American people to partake in global commerce. Therefore, the cause of the free market isn't well served. So, I would imagine if you cut back on taxes for the wealthy, and if you deregulate a whole bunch of things where there's an overreach by the regulatory authorities, then it should make US businesses more competitive, not just within, but without. And that's something that's a net gain for the US, but we have to look at the finer details.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I just want to see what will happen in the next 10 years. Like, this is a very crucial point we're in. You know, I really hope. I don't know. I really don't know, man. So.
I think the US needs to be on a charm offensive with the world and get off this transactional horseback, which it appears to be on and committed to for some reason. And this is the time when the dollar and Americans need more friends than not. If we allow the dollar to become any more unstable, it's generally speaking a bad thing for the world, but certainly a bad thing for the US. So I think the US has to now invest in sacred relationships that are based and hinging on values that are universal. And I think generally speaking, to intimidate the world, indulging into in the proverbial big dick measuring contest is something that's least productive, and it's not something that the rest of the world would be too excited about. So America is a charming country. It's got the kind of prowess to charm the whole world. It's virtually irresistible. But it's only irresistible because Americans are open-minded. But the moment they get a little cocky, you can turn against them very, very quickly. And I'll say, who doesn't need friends? And right now, America does. And a lot of the genuine partner alienating measures that America indulges in, it would be a good thing for the world, certainly, and for all stakeholders if America begins to invest a bit more on value-based associations instead of treaties that are based on interests.
Yeah, but who's above America, right? So that's what we're trying to get at. My theory is UFOs, aliens, who are very powerful. They're like a celestial army or guardians of this universe. They have more control over any country. So they will step in if the policeman is not working too well, right? So
yeah, but what if you're wrong about that for a moment? What if there is no universal army? It's conceivable that all of us have a
Plural.
Yeah, but what if there isn't? What if there isn't?
No, there is. There is. I know for a fact.
Okay, so how do you know for a fact that there is?
Because there are some things that you don't know, and I don't know, and many people don't know. So.
Right. So therefore, it's not factual. I agree that there are many things that I don't know, not just some. I'm probably a lot less informed than you are.
It doesn't have to be scientific, but then they also get scared when they see a thing which goes at Mach 100 or Mach 50 or whatever the case may be, and it's like, oh shit, I didn't see this coming. Like, what the fuck is this? So the thing is, soldiers are out there, and the thing is, if you, I mean, I'm just saying, man, it's not like I'm not saying like something out of my ass. It's like everyone has been sick forever.
No, so I'm with you on this. So, but ask yourselves the following question. Every time I go down this path, this is the question that humbles me, right? So, we go to Masai Mara, we see two lions quarreling over a slice of meat, which is clearly important to them because it's a question of life and death. And yet, both of them for no apparent reason sometimes, have a go at each other. Now, as those of us that are nature lovers, and then you get scientists who are more enlightened than the average person in the Mara, would say, never stick your finger into something that you got nothing to do with. Let them sort it out. Yeah, it's the law of the jungle. Some of them die, some of them don't. But lest we interfere into this because it's not a business. So let us just assume that the UFOs and ancient aliens, all these things are true, and somehow they're lurking all around us. They're just not here. But factually speaking, they're here. Let's just make the assumption. And I'll be with you on that. Do you not think that it's reasonable for us to infer, based on how we treat other animals on planet Earth, that they're not likely to intervene inside, within Earth matters? This is just going by what we do ourselves.
Okay, so they won't, based on our history, I think they will 100% they will intervene. The way the things are going right now.
Maybe it's a part of the great filter in the universe. Because if you look at the whole universe as nature and connected systems like we do our ecosystems on planet Earth, there's no reason why the proverbial jungle analogy can't extend into the universe. It could seem like it could be awfully violent on one neck of the forest, but there's also a whole other neck of the woods where life is brewing, teeming. So it is conceivable that they could be around us. It is conceivable that they might intervene, but there are many reasons why they choose to not intervene than there are for them to choose to actually indulge. So they could say, just like how you and I would see an iguana eat up an alligator just chew a baby wildebeest alive when she's drinking her mama's milk. It's cruel, but you and I let it be. We don't stop because that's the law of the jungle. Maybe this is the law of the universe. This capacity of intelligent life forms to cannibalize and kill each other. And maybe the universal law is to never intervene.
I want to get a biased take on this. You think the Earth, the middle planet, will be left to humans to nuke each other? Let's just say that, right? I mean, just one simple example, but there are many. I don't think so. There's a bigger plan out there. So I really feel like there's someone above the policeman, and they're very fucking powerful. They're so powerful that that you and me, we cannot even imagine, right? So I don't buy this theory, man, to be honest with you.
They're likely to be reading into us very keenly. When I was a child, I used to think, what if some of the mosquitoes that are biting us are actually DNA collecting alien biological bots? We never know. Just like how we go pick up biopsies by, knocking the lions cold for a moment brief, to be fair. But then we're probably more barbaric than the aliens. All they need to do is to get these little mosquito-looking drones and whatnot to come and suck it out, and then they're live beaming the results. They're mapping every species on planet Earth this way, because mosquitoes get to almost every living being if they're warm-blooded. And you know, there are many reasons, many ways in which advanced civilizations will operate, no question. But intervention, I don't think we have evidence for that in the last 2,000 years, aside from some theories that talk about it. I don't think we have concrete, hard evidence for intervention from aliens.
Really? I mean, look, I mean, are you serious? Do you not know?
JR, they're
Like,
called
how
Democrats. Haven't you seen a woman with purple hair yet?
Someone's talking right now. Hello?
I'm making a joke.
Yeah, I'm actually being serious. I don't know if there's hard evidence for aliens to have intervened within the last 2,000 years. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to learn. Do you think there are hard evidences for it?
There are so many files that have been opened, man.
Yeah, JR himself has been probed very hard many times. There's not a way.
No, wait, shut up. So this guy's trolling. So there are many files that have been opened, and you gotta go look up on the CIA website.
Oh, really? JR, when was the last time you even had a date with a girl?
I don't care about the dates, man. To be honest with you.
I'm just saying, maybe your priorities are out of whack.
I'm just saying, like, this comes from, there's one guy I spoke to, and he showed me an article on CIA, right? And this guy is, like, remote viewing a planet. This is real shit, okay? And
Needs to remote view his underpants.
with all this stuff.
It's all bullshit, JR.
Dude, we only four people here, man. Why you gotta like be like?
Because I'm always playing the devil's advocate. I'm the contrarian to your position.
Man, I know who you work for. Shut the fuck up, bitch. So the thing is, look, these are all real things happening around us, and only a few people know.
Most people don't even read books.
Right, very speculative, whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. I don't think there's.
Look, I could get on board with the telepathy thingy because I think that there's reasonable, I won't say evidence, but use cases which seem to point towards that. And good science is about having an open mind. And if you close your windows to reason, that's the unbecoming of science. So absolutely, I'd be open to that. I'd even be open to telepathic drishti of faraway planets, no question. But I think to bet the future of humanity on some kind of some kind of a force out there who would intervene, who cares enough to intervene, would be a bit too rich in my conception. I wouldn't make that bet at all. I think the universe has a great filter. That's a great filter theory, where it's hard enough for life to emerge given the scale of the universe, but when it does, it's hard enough for a food chain to emerge. And whenever it does, it's hard enough for a intelligent animal to emerge on top, as common as it might be in the universe. And as rare enough as it emerges, as intelligent life like human beings and humanoids emerge, it's rare enough that they don't end up just destroying themselves, and then it's rare enough that they make contact and then they become more civilized.
Sure, yes, you can reference it. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that.
I think
yes.
Yeah, it's surprised.
So the question is, JR, where are you in the game right now?
Look, my game is probably I'm a messenger on this planet, and maybe I'm just raising the red flag here. The way the things are going maybe is irritating a lot of people about the policeman. Okay, and that's the message. And I don't know what to say, man. Like, I really don't have it's not like a direct interaction, but I do get, like, sometimes I do get the messages.
That doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. it doesn't mean anything to you right now, but we'll probably know in 4 years, bro.
I know, but when you say I get the messages, you know, to me that doesn't sound like anything.
Dude, he's just trolling you, JR. Congressman, you're trolling me right today.
I'm not.
The congressman is
He didn't do cheeky.
I'm here to be his devil's advocate.
The policeman is the congressman is stupid, and I don't know why Abaya is not saying anything. He just wants to sit around and drive his car. Like, really? This is the time, bro. You gotta say something. If you're not gonna say it,
What are you doing for the 4th of July, JR?
I think it's my duty to say something. What did you say? Sorry?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing. Just gonna watch some fireworks. That's what I'm watch it. Why should I do something? Like, why?
Because it's a nice summer day.
Why should it be like a fucking, like a, oh wow, I fucked like 10 blondes? No. Why? No way, man.
Who brought up fucking 10 blondes?
Huh?
Nobody's bringing up fucking 10 blondes.
Then what do you want me to say?
I don't know. I'm going to see the fireworks tomorrow. What else? I don't know what just asking a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. Look, for me, every day is a firework. Every day is the Father's Day. Every day is the Mother's Day. Every day is like a nice day, okay? I don't need a special day to celebrate anything in my life. Because every time I meditate, it feels fucking good. It feels so good that I'm in touch with my own soul. So I don't need any of these days, man. Like, to be honest with you, I'm over all this shit. So if you're gonna ask me, oh, how was your day? I'll always tell you, it was a fucking great day. You know. If you can touch the wind, is the most amazing thing. Okay. Touch the wind. Touch the wind. Touch the distribution of genomes by method. Show up in the
Well, hold on. All the genetic variation in the world, all the genetic variation in Africa. Okay, the world is a subset of Africa. Now I'm looking here at a database that's supposed to have 3 million African genomes here. That's what it says here, at least if I believe nature. So, 3 million is a little bit more than 1,000. It's kind of like 3 orders of magnitude more.
I mean, you can understand it. I didn't say it. I said the word. Yeah. I said the label of the database was called 1,000 genomes. I didn't say it was 1,000. You were.
Okay, so but that's not the only database. That's not okay. So assume that it's true, but that's not the only database. Do you guys want the answer? Do you want the answer?
Well, it's
in my bio. Give an answer.
It's in my bio. But go ahead.
The 1,000 Genomes Project phase 3 included 2,504 individuals from 26 global populations. Among those, individuals of African ancestry also referred to Black and phenotypes into 7 distinct categories: ASW and African ancestry in Southern West U.S., East African Caribbean.
Oh my God! What a waste of time.
Eastern in Nigeria, Gambian in Western Division, Luhaya in Kenya.
Hey, I got a voice in my head. It's telling me to say hello. Hello? Hello?
these are also people with
in their
something to
private
lose.
life. If you meet them in their private life, you'll get a different reaction.
I don't think so. I don't think. No.
I'm in Brooklyn.
You got better service, so your microphone changed?
Yeah, my service is awesome. I've been in every borough
Yeah, my
these
God,
last 2
slow
days.
down. Move back. What to do Wednesdays?